The thing I'm not supposed to say while we're streaming.
You know, it'd be great.
That'd be the best.
I'm Mila. Hi, everybody. I'm an anime character.
Oh, God. I'm from Animo.
Hi,
I'm super
Mila.
kawaii.
Oh, hero!
Oh, hero.
Oh, hero!
Oh, hero.
Can you tell me what katana means, and then what a rice bowl is, and then...
Can you
Everything
even
else?
eat rice? Criana, can you even eat rice?
I don't appreciate you guys making fun of my culture.
So
What?
this guy.
I don't appreciate you guys making fun of my culture.
Eat it, Dikamaru.
Kamaru. Oh no.
Inferno just left after
Oh no.
Whoops.
Ida Dikamaru, Inferno, has left the call.
So I pressed refresh on the wrong page. I was refreshing to find the PSYLP. I'm on PSYLP and it's not saying we're streaming just yet.
I was
yeah, I'm it's there.
Are you
Is it just
are
still
you
setting up?
sure you're not
Maybe.
streaming? Oh no, there it is. There
Yeah,
it is.
guys, Inferno's just a man that likes to follow his words with action.
Yeah.
You know it.
Action.
All right.
Okay.
So?
Okay, so I got pop out El Chato and then tweet things, and then I'll be good to go.
A Sugoi?
Oh,
What does Sugoi mean?
Sugoi.
I think it's like amazing or something.
No one's told you not to give the definition of a word using the same word. have they?
I'm so fat I have to sit in this ball.
Really?
Yay! I ate it all.
Oh, Sugoi.
Sugoi.
Okay. Time to tweet this.
Little dog heads freaking out.
Okay, so before do you guys have any? Before we start the session proper, do you guys have any questions and whatnot? I'll send you XP for next week. I realized that I forgot. Today I'm like I have all this time on my hand. I'm gonna write some things down. In the back of my head, I'm like, you're forgetting something. You're forgetting something. I'm like, shut up, brain. La 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 la. la. And,
You're not my dad.
I forgot to calculate XP. So thank you for your continued patience, my dear players. If this ever gets to be like a serious thing where you're just like, Inferno, I'm really getting sick of you not giving us XP, let me know and I'll get better at it. But...
Yeah, I'll do that, and then I'll brace myself for the response when you go, hey,
About that.
pot calling the kettle black over there.
I love pots.
Me too.
Plural?
Me too.
Because
I
it would
me
mean
too.
something very different.
I have a question. Piph, are you prepared or interested in showing a few bits of artwork for the
Oh
stream?
man, I am interested. So let me
Okay.
start grabbing those.
Oh.
Oh, there's
I'll have
a
to.
great one. If you Squee and Criana, if you haven't seen Rifty Fell lately, Allie drew a beautiful, beautiful picture.
I think you sent it to me.
Yes, I did. I did
Yeah, you
send
did.
I
it.
will see if I can get to the Twitters with mouse alone.
Well, here, do you want me
Do
to?
you want me to show you the world, Squee?
No, no, no. See,
I
that's
can-
called
I
cheating.
can
That is
show
cheating.
you the
I need that.
world.
Yes, let me cheat.
Shine.
Okay.
I can't do it. I thought maybe I had it.
So let's
Here,
just
I'll
get
show
to
you
the
the
good
world.
stuff right off the bat.
Where's Squee? Squee 913. Here's the world.
Dun 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 dun. Whoa.
Did it work, or did I link you to my porn collection?
Um,
I mean,
I'm still trying to
Yes.
figure this out.
porn.
Given the picture, I'm not sure.
Oh, they're close.
Remember we casted Fly on the seat covers?
I remember.
And
Squee
I
knows
made a
this.
comment. I made a comment of, oh yeah, do you think it could support one more person because Blink could possibly, ride in my lap? And then that was interpreted as Bear riding in.
Yeah, you're like, can one other person ride with you? And that was the end of the question. We all knew that it
But
was
Inferno
for.
went it the other way because
there's-
he thought it was fun.
There's a difference between knowing and hoping.
You guys should learn by now not to leave anything ambiguous with me, because I will take that shit and run.
Run.
Run! Bear.
So is this is hopefully showing up on stream.
Oh, let's find out.
Yeah, it's on stream.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's there. It's there.
It's
So
there,
look
there.
at this, everybody.
And there is another one.
There is.
Yeah.
There's actually two other ones. There is Techno Michael's, and then there's Ariel Woods' first page of his comic book.
Oh.
Let me go to live to make sure that I can see that.
Yes, don't make the mistake I have made.
I can burn all your
There
chairs.
it is.
Shining, shimmering, burning. Now it's just more burning. Oh God, the flames
I'm on
are
fire!
reaching
I'm on
to
fire!
my face. I'm bonded. I'm flammable.
Don't
Oh,
you
God.
dare get the fire extinguisher.
There is something wrong with you two.
Why does
we
it burn
have
when I
goddamn
see?
musical talent? We're goddamn
No, can't be tamed.
screenwriters.
Eh.
Corinne and I are gonna run off to Hollywood, write the next big hit Disney film.
Or, as we like to say, Quallywood.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yes,
In
I
six
like to
months.
say that.
In 6 months, Inferno, Canuck, and Criana have written Star Wars the Musical.
And that's going to be our pen name
Yep.
in the Jollywood Industries.
Jollywood. I thought we were going to Bollywood, where we could all just dance for 17
Oh, yeah.
hours.
Oh, that's racist. I shouldn't do that.
Unless you can speak Hindi, I guess that is racist. Racist dog, bad.
Bark. There.
Aurorf.
Oh, wow.
Alright, did you show both those fine pictures there?
I showed all three of them.
Great. Thank you very much, Piph, for streaming again, and thank you to Ali and Techno Michael and Ariel for drawing those wonderful things. It delights us to no end. To no end.
None of the ends.
None of the ends. So, are we ready to get started?
I think so.
Okay.
No. No, I'm good.
So, so when we last left off, you guys came back from exploring another section of the old colony, and you got a few answers as to what was going on. In fact, the data that you mined, that you managed to acquire, was more than enough to cause this objective to be a success. So it will be a few days until the next objective, which is to monitor ley line energies for a period of 10 days for the interest of Baron Didoxin and the network. But you have a few days of downtime. I have a few things in mind, as those few days pass, but I don't want to ride you guys on the rails. Is there anything you guys would like to talk about in or out of character beforehand, before I grab hold of the reins, so to speak?
Let's see, where did I leave off from last time? Right.
We finished with the debriefing with Killian.
Right. So something about handing him the physical copy.
You handed him the physical copy, but you were wondering, or at least the group was wondering, they knew that the blue bottle bristlefly mutant, quite certain that it was not under any effects of the pollen. So after discussion with Killian, before he was going to just keep all the data, but he has decided to grant a little bit of he decided to change plans a little bit and give you guys copy of everything that you required, in the sense that both yourselves and perhaps people on his side, on the network side, could, on the other ships, could put their heads together and see if they couldn't fill any sort of gaps in between. So you effectively have all the data that you got as well.
Sweet.
Cool.
Yes, for research purposes, of course.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
If you guys like, I can just move on to the first scene I have in mind.
Yeah,
Sure,
I'm
I'm
good.
good.
All right.
Okay. Let me take out ye olde noties. There you are, ye olde noties. Oh my god, I wrote so much. This is uncharacteristic of me. All right. So 4 hours after this debriefing with Killian, let's say Tom. Would it be fair, because you and Alicia, over this period of time, since you're the ones with, actually, I believe you're the only ones with spaceship piloting skill.
Mhm.
Because of that, you guys have been kind of rotating.
Yeah.
So she can do some R&R and you can do some R&R, right?
Mhm.
So would it be fair to say at this point you would be helming the ship, just monitoring everything? You're still just in orbit. You don't have to travel anywhere. You're staying in formation with the other two ships.
Yeah.
But I think for the sake of this, it'd be easier to say that you were the one up on the front of the cockpit. Is that fair?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you will notice that the Minor Innocence breaks formation and heads towards Mars's surface. And soon it leaves sensors, but it's clear that it has entered the planetary body for some reason.
Well, that's strange. I think I will apprise the rest of the crew of this.
Okie dokie. Tom either lets you know personally or lets you know via the comms of this information. Is there anything you guys would like to do in light of this info? Anything that your characters would want to ask or talk amongst themselves? Or you could also just file it away as something that you know, and I can continue on.
Fresh memory. Minor Innocence is the.
Larger, much. It's not the flagship, the one that Killian is on.
Yeah.
Got it.
It
I got
is.
it.
It is the one that Nocturne is the captain of, the
Mhm.
one that has the bulk of the mining equipment and of the personnel.
Yeah.
It's also the one with Dr. Beauville on board too.
All right. I guess Al would be curious, but he would just say, "Well, I'm sure if Killian wanted us to know, he would tell us." And he'll look at one of the cameras.
Subtle.
Yeah. and I will do the same. Yeah, that's right. He would let us know if he really wants us to know, and then he'll put a finger behind his ear, waiting for a call. Doesn't come.
No, Al was actually being less sarcastic and more just.
Oh no, Tom's being a fucking sarcastic asshole.
I understand. And Al will just. But Al will probably stay more alert until, for the next few hours at least.
Okay. Fair enough. You keep a state of alert, keeping an ear out to see if anything comes in through the comms at the cockpit or whatnot, but nothing does. Nothing does. I'm gonna skip ahead now to a dinner time, to a meal time, if that works for you guys.
Sure.
Sure.
And this mealtime is very, very similar to much of the other ones that you've spent, especially over the past 4 months, right? You find some time to get together. Yeah, a meal is prepared by one of the crew members. You've been given a very good supply of food, so it's not like you have to eat the same thing day in and day out. But much of the time, a lot of the other times, August comes in. He gathers some food. He makes himself a plate, and he engages in some very, very, very light conversation. It's only really if he's approached, and a lot of times he takes the plate and retires to his room.
Mhm.
And this time is only unique because Alicia's there. The ship is on autopilot. It is just, after all, this is a brief meal time and is just maintaining orbit, right?
Mhm.
And Alicia will watch August leave, and once he's out of sight and everything like that, she'll kind of turn to you and she'll say, Have you guys noticed that?
What?
The way August acts.
You mean like he's really kind of weird?
She's like, yeah, kind of that way. Weird is one way to put it. She says, he seems like a guy. I don't know. It's obvious that he's pretty withdrawn, right? And she says, there's nothing wrong with being quiet. She's like, I get quiet from time to time. Bear is a quiet fellow. Bear kind of just looks at Alicia a little bit and raises an eyebrow. She's like, but Bear is calm about that. He wants to be quiet, right? You have a sense of peace about you, right? You don't feel like you have to speak, so you don't. And Bear just kind of gives a furry shrug. And she says, but August, he's moody. He's anxious. He's withdrawn. He's sullen, right? That's not someone who's content. That's someone who's either pissed about something or is running away for something or, awkward about something. Am I the only one who's picking that up?
Al would say, no, I've noticed. The problem is, especially with one like August, is if he doesn't want to talk about something, you're just going to upset him more.
Alicia
He
kinda-
doesn't like me very much.
Well, and Alicia kind of tussles the back of her blonde hair a little bit, and she goes, okay, so maybe there's some problems, right? But maybe we don't have to talk at August, right? But I don't know. She says, maybe it's been a long time. She's like, I spent a little time with him on Outcast Station, and he acted the same way. She shrugs and she says, what's the harm of just, maybe we don't have to talk at him, right? But, what's the harm of just spending a little bit of time with him, maybe? Maybe that'll make things better?
I watched a movie with him. He didn't seem to mind it too much. Maybe we could put together a group movie night so that it doesn't seem like we're trying to single him out or concentrate on him. We're just getting everyone together to watch a movie or something.
I don't want to watch a movie with him.
Wait, why?
See, he doesn't like me.
Alicia scratches her chin a little bit. She's like, I've just heard murmurs and whatnot. But, I don't know.
Al's gonna sit there and think about it. Did something happen, Mila?
Mila's actually thinking, trying to see in her memory banks if there was a specific.
Oh, you hit your mute button there.
Out. Oh God.
You
No.
can't hear me?
We can now.
Now we can.
Okay, that was
The
weird.
last thing we heard was, yeah, that was weird, but the last thing we heard was she's trying to look through her memory banks, and then you cut out. And now you cut out again. God damn it.
Why is Google muting me? I'm trying to talk. Are they specious? No, she has no recollection of anything specific that she can recall.
Are you asking the DM to help you out, or are you just playing in character?
No, in character. I know exactly.
okay.
It was that incident where she ran in and he was like, "You got to give me privacy," and then I can't remember the specifics of the conversation out of character, to be perfectly honest, but
Some feelings were hurt, some things were said.
Right.
yeah,
In a
that's
brief-
it in a nutshell.
Al would say, well, he's always been uncomfortable around you, Mila, because you can be very pretty, and he doesn't handle girls well, but I don't think he doesn't like you.
He doesn't like me, Al.
Alright, I trust you. Nonetheless...
Alicia, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, nonetheless, Alicia has a point. Maybe spending some time with the group would do him some good.
Alicia gives a shrug, and she's like, I don't mean to make a big deal about it, right? But out of all of us, he's the one who's acting the weirdest, right? And he's always been a little bit weird. You're right, Mila, but there's no reason why it can't go a little bit smoother, right? We're all putting our asses on the line after all.
It's difficult because even if it is a small problem, it's not like we can go somewhere to cool off or get away from each other.
Exactly.
Even the smallest problem could be something big.
Yeah.
Well, if I go in there and talk to them, people seem to think I'm just preaching, so perhaps someone else should try.
Alicia stifles a laugh as she tries to take a drink.
Dibs, not me.
Patrick.
Listen, Alicia will raise her hand. We don't need to go and bug him right now, right this very moment, right? She says, "I'm just thinking in the future, right? Maybe." She's like, I'll see if he wants to hang out from time to time, see if we can't take him from his shell, or see what's bothering him, or just tolerate him for an hour or two, right? But it's clear that he's isolating himself.
Yeah.
And maybe, and like I said, unlike Bear, who likes to keep to himself, I'm not getting the vibe that he really wants this, right? Or at least his fucking attitude is very, very different, so.
Well,
And she gives a sigh. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Yeah, Tom.
who out of everybody over the past 4 months has he even interacted with? Like, for a long period of time. Who here is his friend?
Patrick raises his hand for the time spent, and then friend, he, wavers a bit, but still has his hand up, I guess.
Yeah, Alicia says, yeah, the closest thing I'd say is Patrick.
Okay.
They got a lot in common, although Patrick, with all due respect, he's a much bigger turd than you are.
Yeah, he's kind of an ass.
But maybe there's a reason for it, maybe he's not. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I just feel bad. Maybe I want to find out. Maybe he's just a grade 8 asshole. Or maybe there's something going on, right? She shrugs, I don't know.
I wouldn't mind hanging out with him. It's just practically every single time that we've had an interaction, save for a couple, he's been a selfish dick. At least in front of me.
Al would shrug and he'd say, we shouldn't start pointing fingers too much. It's not like we haven't been asses from time to time, too.
Oh, yeah. But every time?
Every time I think is a bit of an exaggeration.
Be friends with August. Mila's just sitting there, staring at her food.
I'm getting flashbacks of my 6-year-old nephew.
Al would he'd be quiet for a while and he'd say, "Look, yes, August is difficult to deal with sometimes, but I don't think any of us have ever actually made an attempt to try and find out why.
Yeah,
We've just kind of judged."
I agree.
That doesn't sound. I know me. I know how nosy I am. I must have at some point. But he don't like me, Al. I'm not gonna be friends with August.
Mila, no
Wow.
one's forcing you to do anything you
I
don't
sound
want to do.
like a righteous bee.
Al's going to, mid-sentence of what he was about to say, his mouth's just gonna stay open.
That's weird. Not sure what to make of that. I'll put that in my memory bank and forget about it.
That's not how that works, Mila.
What was that?
That's not how that works. You don't.
Oh,
put
what
things-
works?
Bear just doesn't say anything, and he just shakes his head a little bit.
Mila tenderly pats Bear on the shoulder.
But yeah, I agree with you. We should try and get to know him a bit more. I mean, at first I didn't like Lee because he was a drunken asshole.
You also,
God,
We didn't forget him, Mila. He's fine.
we didn't forget him, no. But after a while, after he hung out with us and we got to know him, I understood and I didn't mind him. Maybe that just needs to happen.
Alicia says, at least August didn't puke on you.
Yeah, that's one of the main reasons why I didn't like Lee at first.
Don't blame me. She says, I think we've talked this enough to death. She says. It's just, I've traveled with you guys for a real long time now, and I've traveled with other people a long time, and, you pick up vibes when there's possible conflicts. And what Al said was completely right. We don't have a chance to stretch our legs, go someplace else, right? We're in this tin can together, so we might as well try and make the best of it. She says, I guess I'm feeling a little guilty too, right? Because I haven't tried either, which is why I'm bringing it up. Maybe this will just set my mind at ease. Maybe it won't do anything, but who knows?
Well, technically, there's one place we could go to kind of stretch our legs. We could possibly even have a picnic, but it's very dangerous.
Yeah, Blink hits you in the ribs with her elbow. She's like, yeah, it's crawling with bugs.
I know. That was the joke. Ah.
She says, sarcastically, and blinks. But that's it. That's all I had in mind for what the NPCs had to say. Is there anything you guys wanted to continue with, or do, or because I can move on to the next thing that I had in mind. It'll be probably about half a day later.
I think I'm good. The only thing is I'm going to make sure to play with Hannibal because I haven't been saying that I've been playing with Hannibal lately.
Fair enough. I mean, a lot of this stuff, you don't have to explicitly say everything that your character does, right? Sometimes it's fun to play in that like low mindscape. But yeah, it's always good to remember that your grown-up puppy is around and still Hannibal.
Is Jackie like in like a drawer somewhere or whatever?
She's actually in the House of the Golden Place.
Yep.
Oh.
No one's taken her out from there since.
So
Yeah,
she
she's
is
still
like
off.
technically in a drawer, just like a weird
Dimensional
magical
portal door. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
I would say, I'd say Al would not immediately, but give it some time. And then Al would, he's got computer usage. So Al's going to somehow kind of do something to his personal computer, maybe like a minor virus or something like that, that makes it kind of glitchy. And then he's going to, under the thinking of if he makes August feel needed, like spends time with August by having August help him.
Oh boy. Okay, all right. Can I throw in my 2 cents there?
Yeah,
real quick?
absolutely.
Because computer usage, I don't think you could create a virus from
No,
scratch
not
with
create,
computer
no.
use, right? That would require more programming. But how about this? Much like how we use our personal computers and laptops and stuff, we know that there's some files that you shouldn't delete. Maybe Al deletes 1 or 2, and all of a sudden something's wrong.
Yeah,
Right?
okay, yes.
That
sounds
would
better.
be in the purview of your skill set and still require technical assistance.
I am also.
August has now become the IT guy.
And then, I mean, we can roleplay it if you want. I don't mind either way. Actually, it might be kind of important to gauge how August reacts to it.
Sure. No, we can do a little roleplay here. I don't mind. That's fine.
All right, then,
Yeah, I'll have you start the scene.
all right, Al would politely knock on August's door.
After a little bit of shuffling of his feet, the door would open. You'd see August, and his blue eyes would blink at you from behind his glasses, and he'll say, politely enough, "Yes, Al."
I don't mean to disturb you, but when you have a moment, I was wondering if I could pull on your ear for a moment or two. I may have deleted or corrupted something on my personal computer, and it's beyond my ability to fix.
August takes a look at you for a moment, and you see him look behind him for a bit, and then he'll scratch his newly grown blonde beard, and he'll say, "Okay, I'm free now, I guess." "Wait, what do you mean you deleted something? What's exactly the problem?" And he'll follow you to, I don't know, a tabletop, maybe in the recreational area or something like that. If that works.
Okay, actually, you know what? Okay, I just had an idea.
Great.
Al's gonna try something.
Okay.
These personal computers can have games on them, right?
Oh, of course.
Okay. He would kind of go on a limb. he's going to mess up a game. We'll say, I don't know, a strategy game.
Okay.
He's going to kind of go with so I have this game on my personal computer. I'm not very good at it, but I was trying to play it, and I think I messed it up somehow. I may have deleted my saved game, and now I don't know. Is there a way to get it back? Is there some way to?
August gives a look to you, much like a teacher gives to an ignorant child, and he'll say, "Nothing is truly ever deleted. It's just marked to be overwritten." And he'll slide your laptop over towards him, and he'll say, "Oh, Palladum." And Palladum, I'm just gonna throw this in here. Hopefully, this is something that is up Al's mind.
Mhm.
Is I guess you could say it's an updated version of the game Go, right? The ancient game Go.
Mhm.
The only difference is that instead of 2 dimensions, it's in 3 dimensions, and there's a few other strategic additions to it, right? But it is a very simple interface. It has artificial intelligence that you can compete against across, a variety of levels from novice to beginner, right? And it's a very, very popular strategy game. At least you were told that by the person who gave it to you, right?
Mhm.
But he'll look over and he'll say, "Okay, what were you doing messing around in the system files? Were you trying to cheat?" He asks, raising an eyebrow.
Al will grin and he'll say, "It's not like the thought didn't cross my mind." No,
I guess.
I keep losing, and I'm trying to figure out. The computer keeps beating me. And in a game like this, it's sometimes hard to see how it thinks. So I went poking around in the code to see if I could figure something out that way. And yeah, I'm not great at that kind of thing. So
No, you're not, he says as he's browsing through the file history. It looks like a toddler took a knife to this, figuratively speaking, he adds.
Al would in almost a kind of indignant way say, "Yes, but a classy knife."
No, not classy at all. August
Al
says,
would
he
grin.
goes, "Well, luckily you didn't do too much damage, I guess. And you're lucky I'm familiar with this program, otherwise I'd have to spend a few more hours double checking. Just give me a few minutes, I guess. I'll just have to get a little bit more deeper into your hard drive. There isn't anything in here that I shouldn't see, is there?" And you can see just a small grin on the side of his face. You know, when people have access to personal computers, all sorts of things can pop up. I learned that from Outcast Station.
Al would say, hoping you don't come across my elves and people. Nothing you haven't seen before, I'm sure. Now, hang on a second. You said you're familiar with this game?
Yeah, I have it on my own device, that and a few others. Yeah, it works. I mean, the artificial intelligence can be somewhat predictable, but the higher levels, I haven't beaten them yet.
Predictable. Well, no. See, my problem is that the AI never takes the time to explain itself. It's almost impossible to get better at something when you don't understand how you even screwed it up. Hey, if you have some free time, maybe I could play you. That way, if I make a mistake or you do some sort of brilliant maneuver, you can explain to me exactly what you did, and I can understand how to stop it next time. I mean, of course, I know you're busy. I'm just, if you have some free time.
August kind of gives a bit of a non-committal shrug, and he'll say, "Maybe. Yeah, maybe sometime," he says. And he pauses for a moment, he purses his lips, and he says, "You're not a sore loser, are you?"
August, I ran from the Coalition for years. If I was a sore loser, I probably wouldn't have survived. I can handle being beaten. Don't worry.
"Okay, I'll think about it," he says. And after a few more minutes, he'll push it back up to you. He'll push the personal computer, the small personal computer, back to you, and he'll say, "There, it's fixed. Word of
Al,
advice: don't go poking around in things you don't understand."
Al will
Okay,
nod,
but
and he'll consider August for a time and say, "Tell you what, actually, if you ever do find any free time, and you're willing to play me and help me understand what you did, every time you beat me, I'll do one of your chores."
August will sit back a little bit and he'll say, "No, no, I don't. Let's not do chores." He says, I don't care about that." He says, "That's fine. This ship maintains itself pretty well anyway. How about we bet for money?"
Al will raise his eyebrows. "Oh,
Something simple, but something to make it worthwhile. Say 10 ice around.
okay. Yeah, you can do that."
Oh God! As I drop my mouse. August didn't drop his mouse. I did.
The ship shakes.
Yeah. God.
God has dropped his mouse.
Oh God, no! The reality tears. The giant mouse comes through. All right. Anyway. Sorry. What did you reply? I was just too distracted by my mouse. What did you say?
Al,
Alex.
Al accepts. He looks bemused and says, "Okay, sure."
Good. He says, and August goes back to his room, and he'll turn around, and it looks like he's about to say something, but he shakes his head and just goes back to his room. And yeah, he'll let you know if he wants to play that game. So is that good for you? Is a good place to end L's?
I think so.
Elsina?
I guess the only question I would have to ask is kind of up to you. How good would Al actually be at a game like that? Like, would he?
Well, we're gonna.
Okay.
I would honestly, I would leave a little bit up to you because it's your character, right?
Mhm.
But I'd also be comparing stats, right? I mean, it'd be probably a combination of stats, honestly, of your characteristics, right? Like it wouldn't be straight an IQ roll, right? Because you could have a really great memory and be really shitty at strategy games, right? But he'll be as good as you'd like him to be. I just like it to be a little bit of realistic, and I know it's you, so you won't say he's the best strategy gamer in the world. He has beaten all of his classmates, including Nathan, and all the coalition soldiers, and his boss, and everyone
Especially
in Laszlo. And especially Nathan. One time we had fan fiction. I'm just kidding. You know what I mean? Like I know you're not like that.
He divides by 0. Right.
I know you're not
Okay.
like that, right? So I trust you and your character, right?
Okay.
So you let me know about their general skill level. I'll have a general skill level for August. And if and when we do play the game, or you two do play the game, we'll just simulate it by rolls, D20 rolls with modifiers, similar to a strength check, but this will be a strategy check, right?
Got it.
So I
Sounds
think
good.
it'll be fun that way. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So that wraps up that scene. Does anyone else have anything in mind that they want to do while spending time on the Rhapsody before I move ahead with the next kind of scene idea?
Yes.
No? Oh, okay. Piffy does. All right. What do you have in there in mind, Piff?
Well, if
Calm the fuck down, baby Junior. All right. Sorry. Go ahead, Patrick.
so, back to the table scene. He's actually going to take out a small book at the end of the conversation, scribble something down. Or sorry, he's going to go to his computer, type something down.
Okay.
Darn paper and pencils being obsolete. Damn you.
Yep.
And
Not obsolete, just not makeable.
yeah. And I'm assuming this is going to be towards the end of the mealtime, and he'll excuse himself and make sure that he is cleaned up, and then he's going to go to the insects in the hold.
Okay. Right now it is the 2 fly types.
Mm.
Right. And one of them. Oh, sorry. Is it cool if I describe the cargo hold there?
Sure.
Great. So, well, you get there, and it is dimly lit. All right. And one of the you have 2 crates, and there's some little area where the kind of food is being kept for these creatures, right? And from time to time, either yourself or someone else comes in and feeds them as necessary, twice a day. And currently, one of the boxes do not seem to be active. Whatever's in there is either at rest or is being quiet. While the other one, you can definitely hear a buzzing and a few small kind of feeble thumps against the reinforced edges of its container.
He will make sure that he will get a chair, and be at a reasonable distance away to observe these 2.
Sure. It's far enough away that if, for whatever reason, it's unlikely the way it's made, but if the rock's so bad that it fell over, you wouldn't be in front of it and get squished. All right, not a worry.
And he's actually going to sit there and basically not really taking notes and just kind of look over the 2,
Okay.
seeing general actions and things like that. So one's like unmoving.
Yes, you could, if you wanted to. There is a small slot for a person to peer inside of the crates, although the crates themselves don't have any sort of interior lighting, so you wouldn't get a very keen observation, but you would be able to determine whether, say, for example, a specimen expired or not, or some small details such as that.
So these are like completely enclosed, cannot see inside crate things.
For the most part, yeah. They are not made of a clear material. No, they are made of a solid opaque material. And the only real access is a small micro vent for oxygen or for air ventilation to get through.
Mm-hmm.
Another small slot to allow feeding, and another one for observation.
All right.
But that's okay. I can still roll with what you say. Obviously, Patrick could go in and go through the observation thing and kind of take a look, make sure they're okay, and then so on and so forth, right?
All right.
Is that fine? I can still give you the information that you're looking for at that point.
Yes.
Okay. So yes, when you go to check up on the one that is quiet, it appears it is kind of crouched down in its crate, and it's, well, not really all that spacious, but in its crate, and it appears to be resting at some point. It's hard to tell since it has no eyelids, but it is unmoving in the corner, but you see that it is not dead. It doesn't give any sort of that. So you're assuming it is at rest at some point, in some fashion or another. The other one, when you go through the observation, you can't see absolutely clearly, but it appears at the very least, the longer that you look at it, it's not flying. It doesn't have a whole lot of space. It has enough space to kind of spread its wings, but it doesn't have a lot of clearance, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it is on its feet, and this is the one that has the really, really cloudy eyes, all right?
Mm-hmm.
The one that appeared to act that it was near blind, and it is slowly pacing around its crate. Mindless, kind of just following the perimeter again and again and again, and it just continues to do so. From time to time, it admits either its wings flick that cause that little kind of buzzing humming noise, or there's a small kind of a gurgle coming from its mouthy-like protuberance. But it doesn't make a ton of more noise, but it is doing a pacing in a way. Yeah.
Patrick, after looking at the second one, will close the hatch.
Mm-hmm.
Um, sit down in the chair that he propped up
Mm-hmm.
near the crates,
Mm-hmm.
and he's gonna take a while and just sit there and just kind of take in the sounds and things like that.
Gotcha, gotcha. Um, you'd be there for a few hours, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can honestly tell you there are no strange or unique sounds that come from the cage. Nothing that implies any sort of speech or any sort of consistent communication. From time to time, most of the noises that you hear are buzzes or kind of I guess the best way to describe it is a gurgling noise, but they don't come in any sort of predictable frequency. It seems random and sporadic.
All right.
Okay. Anything else? Is there anything you as a player or you as your character are particularly looking for, or anything else you want to contribute? Or
Out of character,
Mhm.
he's not really looking for much.
Okay, no,
There's
that's
no
fine. No
particular
worries.
plan that he's
Sure,
concocting or
sure.
anything like that.
It's just in character actions. That's fine. No worries, no worries. I guess I just wanted to ask that to make sure we're both on the same page,
Hmm.
right? I'm glad I was following along with it is, but some people do stuff and they're looking for something or they're expecting something, right? So I just don't want to be completely unobservant, right?
Right.
So, are we good to wrap up the scene then with
Yes.
Patrick there and ye olde cargo hold? Great. So, Tom, Criana, did you guys have anything?
Tom
No.
and Mila.
Oh, sorry, Tom and Mila. I'm sorry. My bad.
Thank you. No, I don't have anything.
You're welcome. Okay.
I'm good.
Okay, great. So I'll move on to the next little scene here then. So, well into the first day, the first full day, about halfway through that day, while you guys are still on Mars orbit, the miner's innocence returns to orbit, returns to its position, and soon after, a few minutes after actually, the Rhapsody is hailed by Nocturne. And she explains, in a polite but kind of hasty way, that she has been given instructions to dock the minor innocence with you, and she asks you to prepare to receive some cargo. She says that she has a lot to take care of still, but Dr. Raymond Beauville will be available during the cargo transfer procedure to go over the details of what they have in mind. And unless you guys have any very specific, quick questions to ask her, she will cut communications. Not rudely, but she does definitely sound like like someone who's multitasking and they're doing like 4 things at once. She kind of has that tone about her.
What's the cargo?
Flowers, she says.
Cool. And then I'll let everybody else know.
Okie dokie. She'll sign off the communication. You guys are made aware, and sure enough, the minor innocence comes up to the Rhapsody, and a connection between the 2 cargo bays is made. And sure enough, 2 large metal crates, approximately, let's go feet for my fine friends who use the Imperial measuring system. They are approximately 20 feet wide, 10 feet deep, and 10 feet long. And and it's quite clear that when they're opened, they are filled with vines blossoming with that yellow flower, which was identified by Dr. Melissa Cole as Delos Thona. And that is placed aboard with you, along with what is explained to you as a compressor device. In addition, you also receive a shipment of about 50 of those same metal square containers, very similar to the ones that you guys had attached to your body armor last time you went down there on Mars. Patrick and Tom, you have a bit of mechanical skill as well, correct?
Yep.
I have general repair and maintenance.
That'll be enough to notice this. So both Tom and Patrick, you notice with these metal square containers that some of them look like they were very hastily welded and pieced together, probably quite recently as well. And sure enough, as this shipment is being transferred aboard, you would once again meet with Dr. Raymond Beauville. And he will explain that I'm gonna just do this out of character. If that's okay with you guys, and then if you have any questions for it, we can slip to in character. But Dr. Beauville explains that in order to prepare to investigate the Mars Canal lines, Commander Killian Blackwater wants all future ground forces to have the same pollen emitters that you had. Now, unfortunately, the Minor Innocence's med bay, its laboratory, and its hydroponics bay is not an industrial complex. And the sheer numbers that Blackwater is asking for means that we will have to also make use of the Rhapsody's botanical bay, since it has ample capabilities in extracting and condensing the pollen from the plants. Beauville says, now, I've been told to say that there are two options. You, yourselves, the crew of the Rhapsody, can volunteer to help with this task, or if you'd rather not, you can take some more people aboard, more network crew members to do the work that is needed. Well, which would you prefer? Killian thinks that you're very eager to volunteer, but he said to give you the option.
How nice of him.
Out of character, what skills would my biology be working with this, or would
Sure,
Patrick
biology.
be the only one?
No, Patrick wouldn't be the only one, right? Because it's not just extracting the pollen. It does. If you have a botanical skill, botany skill, it does definitely help, right? But eventually it can be trained to other people, right? The extraction technique. But here's the thing. There's extracting the pollen and then compressing it into the containers. Compressing it into the containers is a very simple mechanical, not even a mechanical skill, but it's just a physical ability that you can do. And anyone can be trained to do so. So everyone has the capability to assist. You do not necessarily need awesome, plant skills in order to do this task. Out of character.
Okay. I would say that he'd be more than happy to help.
I think most of us would be happy to volunteer. I will at least have to man the cockpit for most of the time, but for the rest of the time, I'd be happy to help.
Beauville gives a thin, understanding smile, and he says, I'm sure you'll do a fine job. As long as you don't cut any corners. Like I said, you have the facilities, and you all seem like very smart people. He kind of looks at Al and gives him a bit of a nod. So I'm sure you'll do a fine job. Do you have any other questions before I return to the Minor Innocence?
No, I think we're good.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Wonderful. Well, best of luck when you're finished. Killian wants you to send him a message and let him know, so we can, do what he does, I guess. And he kind of gives a shrug and wave in his hand, and unless you guys have anything else, he will depart to the Minor Innocence, board again, and the ships will undock from each other. Groovy?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Excellent. So I'm going to just use the washroom real quick, and I'll be right back.
Me too. 3, 4.
Yay!
Barf.
He has to be.
God, he has to pee.
I hope everyone enjoyed the last time we did the rendition of He Has to Pee, the musical.
He has to pee because he's a baka.
Oh God.
That's not how the word baka is used.
Baka. I'm spunky.
You also look like you have The droopy eye.
With these anime characters, for whatever reason, I get like lazy eye.
Oh God, there's another animu. Hello, Criana.
Oh, hello.
Oh look, how unique! A Japanese schoolgirl. I've never seen one of those before.
You baka.
You're the baka.
Hello.
Oh, hello there, Bishy.
Huh?
Bishy. Bishovi? I don't know. I hear. Isn't that what you call like a pretty boy?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
I was just surprised immediately, no hesitation. What's going on, Bishi? And then,
What's going on, Bishi?
What up,
I just
Bishy?
came here from America. This is my first time here in Japan.
But after reading everything from Animu, you know
I
everything
know
about
everything
it.
from manga and anime.
Mango.
And some creepy
Mango.
guy.
I have mangoes.
That was awful on face ring because your mouth was open and then you made the kiss sound and then it just like closed and opened
I know, I was
again.
trying to do like the kissy face. I was
Yeah.
trying to do the kiss. Hang on, let me try again.
I don't think it works. I don't think your
Close.
face is
Can't-
dimensional
I
enough.
can't pucker my lips.
Hey, Piph,
Well,
I
this is
have
awful.
something to send you. I need to send you this. You'll love this.
Jesus.
Where are you, Piph text? Okay, here you go. Boom.
Oh God. Okay, so this is gonna sound like super racist, but it's not really racist because anime characters aren't a race.
Yeah.
But seriously, like that avatar right there looks totally like an avatar from that Tokyo School Life thing that we did. And I'm starting to realize that a lot of these fucking anime characters look fucking alike.
You
Like
don't
it's specifically
say.
the face. Like I know, who'd have thought, eh? Like it's just really just the hairstyles and the bust size that changes. Like their faces are like almost always the same. Yeah, see? Like with the exception of some blush, that's the same fucking face, isn't it?
The eyes are a bit different, but
Well, it's the same artist too.
Well, I guess that.
Ah.
has something to do with it, sure. There are a lot of these characters.
Yeah.
What are you? I don't know what noise you're making, but it's worrying. Oh, Criana face, you gotta do this when you're super tired, so when your eyes go all like single blinky derpy, that
Well,
you're.
it's already kind of doing that unintentionally. So I'm
Oh.
wondering if when I'm if I do the droopy eyes while I'm sleepy, then like maybe they'll be even.
Oh, maybe
Yeah.
cancel itself out.
Yeah.
Meh.
Hi there, I'm Mila.
Your eyes just went berserk.
It's kind of hard sometimes because I have trouble seeing out of my eyes. Yeah,
I
and
guess-
I have them wide open.
Buh?
You are super surprised, and they are closed now.
I guess Squee isn't back yet, so
Now it's gonna take him a little while to go to the bathroom.
I guess so.
I'm slowly changing my accent. I am robot. Boop, bop,
I-
boop, bop, boop, boop,
You
boop.
must remain consistent.
I must remain consistent.
While we wait, I will be right back.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh. Sorry guys who just tuned in here. We're gonna be resuming the game. We're just taking a quick bathroom break, and Criana is playing with face cam.
oh.
So is that a doggy, a puppy in a bowl? Okay.
So this guy.
So desu ka.
So this guy.
Discusso.
Oh, there you are.
Sugoi.
Now we just have to wait for Burn.
Sugoi desu ne.
So good. This man.
Desu ka.
See. Hola.
Wake up, dog.
Oh. Oh. So. Ripped.
So I've been enjoying my jaunt back into BioWare's golden age.
Which is what? Dragon Age, Mass Effect?
Jade Empire.
Oh. Is that their golden age?
Yeah, well, it's between KOTOR and before Mass Effect. So.
Quitchers, the
Oh,
Jade
yeah,
Age.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I can see it. How is it? How is Jade Empire?
It's fun. I can definitely see the influences of. It really does feel like half KOTOR and half Mass Effect. So I can going back. I can see the evolution. Plus,
Tavern Wench, get me a beer.
I've always
So,
been a
Okay,
fan of
okay, then, no
fantasy
problem.
movies.
so was that Squeepy?
I said I've always been a fan of like the 1970s kung fu movie type things. So
Oh yeah.
it's good times.
Your eyes are going nuts.
It's because I'm drunk.
Because you're drunk?
It's because I'm drunk.
I've never seen a Valley Girl barmaiden. This is the first.
Oh, but this is your first time. That's okay. No problem, I guess.
You are so drunk. You're not even enunciating anything.
Yeah.
I was just want to make the words in it.
It's because I work here, and I have to do this every time a customer comes in.
Yep, I'd go eat there.
I wouldn't. I'd run away. I'm gonna drink there though.
Your laughing
God,
has the
I'm
scariest
sorry,
face.
But I'm sorry, but your chest
you move.
your chest rotated like a clock. I don't think it should do that.
My boobaroos.
You don't have boobaroos now. You're doggaroos.
A rough.
Shiba Inu, which means dog. So it's a Shiba dog.
You should use the one you were using when we did Swator. That one's so adorable with the handkerchief.
Hang on. Hey! How you doing?
Ah, you're a red fox.
Red panda.
I learned.
You got it.
Red panda. Oh, I
You
was
got it.
getting so close.
No.
Close.
No, it's pretty close.
Gee.
I love that one because she would play an evil Sith Lord, and every time she tried to be evil, she just looked adorable.
Fear me.
What I really want to know is, I know it's probably just random, but I like to think there's something on Criana's head that's causing her ears to twitch a certain way. Like, wow, Criana can really wiggle her ears really well.
Yeah, I'm really good at. I'm known for my ear wiggling. Damn it! It's bad because now you can see my pupils, so when I'm thinking yeah.
Go cross-eyed. Can you go cross-eyed?
I'm trying. Oh no, maybe I'm too squinty. Oh.
You look like you just had an overdose.
So,
Oh, there
just
he
a
is.
reminder, I could have heard you guys the entire time.
Sure, but I didn't want to make that I know you have your wireless headset, but I know you've been having it on and off from time to time, and I didn't want to make the assumption of starting the game.
True.
And you missed a bunch of it, so. Yeah. Besides, there might be something you'd like to say. All right, are we good to continue?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that interlude.
Yeah, it's all good.
No, it was entertaining for me.
This isn't.
I am not sorry about that interlude.
You good there, Piffykins?
Yes.
Okay. So, we won't. I don't have any intention, at the very least, to really do any sort of in-depth role play over the next day or so it takes for you to do this pollen extraction process. Suffice to say, this isn't necessarily slave labor, right? So it's not like you have to work at it 12 hours at a time that you have to, right? You have enough manpower in order to get this done in a relatively decent amount of time. What I will do is just kind of talk about the process in general, just to kind of help you, paint, a scene in your head. I'll give you guys an opportunity to roleplay, and then we'll continue on, if that works. So, first things first is, it's really a three-step technique, all right? There's the pollen extraction, which, as mentioned before, the botanical bay, or botanical wing in the Rhapsody has definitely the equipment in order to do this, right? It requires a little bit precision, but it does definitely get repetitive. You actually have to extract quite, although the flowers themselves have a surprising amount of pollen in them, it's very, very repetitive in a way. The second is a simple machine that is used to concentrate the pollen and really create almost like a vacuum seal, right? Really keep that, really condense it as much as possible, right? And that is the simple operation of a machine, right? It requires a little bit of attention, but it's very, very repetitive. And finally, it's actually using a compressor and a needle, really, to insert it into these metallic discs and filling them up, right? And that, once again, is a very mechanical, repetitive process. That requires a little bit of attention because you don't want to overfill it, right, and create too much pressure. And, of course, you don't want to underfill it as well. All right. You guys can assign yourselves to whatever tasks you like. No big deal. But one other thing I'll mention is the actual metallic boxes themselves. For those of you who... This is mostly Patrick, maybe a little bit of Tom, right? But I'll leave it up to you for how much you guys know about this. But suffice to say, it is not a very sophisticated box, honestly. It has a simple microchip, something that seems to have been quickly hot wired, right? And it's really just a simple timer, right? It's connected to a seal, to almost like a rubber synthetic seal. It has a rubber synthetic seal kind of on the tip of the box itself, and the microchip just has that seal break every X amount of seconds, right? So this is not a sophisticated high-tech thing. This looks like something that was welded together and manufactured en masse on a very rudimentary level. Okay.
Yeah, in a very short time.
Exactly, precisely. So, anything else you guys want to know about the process, or talk about, or roleplay, or anything like that?
I just wanted to mention that I didn't notice this until now. I actually have automotive mechanics, so I probably would be able to recognize the welds and that kind of stuff. At least.
Yes, the welds for sure. Yeah, the computer chip, maybe not so much, but definitely the welds for sure. Yeah,
definitely the welds. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would totally be down to do the repetitive work of, taking the needle and tossing the stuff into the discs.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, it looked like Mila was about to say something. I looked like you were about to say something because you unmuted yourself. But we're good. We're good. If you want, guys, honestly, I can just move on to the next thing, right? We don't need to roleplay this mundane stuff. It was just...
I helped.
Yeah, great. That's fine. No problem. You know what? I would like, though, just for one person to roll 1d100 for me. Please.
Patrick.
Sure. No modifiers. No nothing. 41. Great. Let me just check something there. And, well, let's move on, because we don't want the poor puppy to yawn all this time. So... Careful having that face cam.
I know. It's dangerous. It's just... I'm not yawning all the time. Some of it's from drinking.
Yes, of course.
And of course, one time I fucking do it, the right face rig doesn't even show me open the mouth. So, whatever.
Careful, dog.
So, okay. So, at the end, so after the pollen extraction is done, it takes a day and just a little bit, all right? I think it's fair to say that you guys contact Killian, correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. So you contact Killian, let him know that's done. The finished product is brought back on board. The interesting thing enough is that you have probably about 4 times the amount of flowers needed to actually fill those 50 containers. You're asked to just keep the excess flowers on board for now in those crates for perhaps future refills. Okay? But soon after, a few hours later, once all that is brought together, you are once again hailed for official preparatory briefing on the next stage, the canal line survey. Okay?
Okay.
So we're going to go with that. So as Killian talks, on the monitor itself, I'm going to move you guys over. In addition to, of course, a VidCom communication of his face and Nocturne's face in their seconds during this debriefing, you're also given or shown a surface scan, what appears to be a surface scan of Mars itself, with some small labeling of regional areas. And Killian begins the debriefing. I'll slip in character. I'll say, so, we've had ourselves quite a large volume of success. But if there's one thing I've learned, it's important not to get too confident. So with that in mind, for this third objective, the plan is going to be as always. We are going to keep a low profile on the surface of Mars. Sure, your field test has shown, at the very least, the beetle type is dissuaded by this pollen, but of these flowers that we've harvested. But I think caution is the best watchword. Now, the Razor's Kiss has identified both a primary drop point and a secondary drop point. The primary drop point is here at Syrtis Major, and he'll ping that little area for you. And the secondary drop point is going to be, as Inferno quickly looks at his notes, is going to be here at Ikara Planum. And once again, he pings a region of the map. He further explains. The primary is, of course, the primary, and the only reason why we need to go to the secondary is in case there's too much trouble, for lack of a better word, at our primary survey point. Okay? Now, both of these areas have canal lines that intersect, but they're on parts of Mars that don't have any vegetation on it. Less vegetation hopefully means less bug interlopers. All right? Now, we have done some flybys of the area, and so far, at least on the surface level, we've only identified a few beetle types of this insect mutant that's running around the area. Okay? Of course, I don't mean that there aren't more crawling around under the surface, but frankly, this is the best landing spots that we got. All right? The Baron has provided us here with special monitoring systems. We're going to deploy them close to these canal line intersections, and we have network technicians that are going to take these readings for these periods of days. All right? Now, freebooters and the outcast dregs from the Minor Innocents, they're going to be acting as scouts and perimeter watch. Okay? They're going to take around a mile around the surveillance area. They're going to track any and all bug activity. Keep that in communications with the surveillance teams, and if things get hairy, we'll get out. But if it's pretty minor, they hopefully will be able to deal with the problems as they show up. Now, in order to keep a low profile, like I said, the ships, primarily the Minor Innocents, but also your ship too, I'm sure, will need to deploy to the surface of Mars on an as-need basis. So that means to rotate scouting parties and surveillance crew, redeploy the Palladum emitters, and offer emergency extraction in case the zone gets too hot. Okay? Now, you guys, due to your, and I'll pause for a moment, areas of expertise have the most experience when it comes to these sorts of canal lines. So your role is to assist in monitoring the readings and to act as consultants on the entire operation. With that in mind, as consultants, I want to ask you, do you have any advice or insight onto these canal lines or this entire operation?
Patrick will step forward.
Yeah?
Canal lines, especially the ones that are connecting, are something not to take lightly. They are a concentrated energy source that can be connected with other energy sources across space and time, and sometimes through dimensions. We could expect almost anything from nothing to a pleasant gent coming out from the other side to a large, fiery, golem-like creature sticking only his arm out as large as your spacecraft.
Much of the time, when you talk with him, Killian typically has a bit of a smirk on his face. That's kind of his de facto impression. But as he listens to you intently, as does Nocturne. When you take a pause in your speech there, Nocturne says, Jesus, you said it's an energy source? What kind of energy?
Presently not entirely known, not particularly named, but a canal line can be tapped into by many a different people who are more attuned to it. And that's how they can use it. It's kind of hard to explain because it is, quite frankly, hard to control, and most humans wouldn't even start to comprehend how to even, let's just say, move them.
Huh. Killian is quiet for a moment. He says, you know any ways to predict what's going to come out of these things? I mean, some of the stuff that you say isn't completely new to us. We do know that fucking all sorts of stuff come out of here. Most of them are angry and violent. That's why all the space stations try to contain any of these phenomenon that happen in the middle of space or happens on, Earth. But you're saying it could happen here on Mars too?
Al would raise...
It's the same kind of lines? The canal lines and the Earth lines are the same thing?
I am unsure because I haven't seen them, but if they act similar to the ones on Earth, they can connect to a lot more than what's physically here.
Well, out of character, we were close to a couple, weren't we? Sort of?
You were. Yeah, you were.
Okay.
You were, especially when you were first doing your mining, because when the parts with vegetation that have ley lines by them, they kind of contain the vegetation itself. They kind of help create the atmosphere that allows oxygen and water and whatnot to not be, driven away from the rest of Mars's atmosphere.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're able to confirm that. Yeah, those things are fucking ley lines. They're calling them canal lines, but they're identical.
I will say, in character, yeah, they felt the exact same.
Felt?
They looked it too.
Yeah.
Al will raise an eyebrow and he'll say, when you live around them as we have, you can learn to sense where they are. A lot of people
You're
can't do
sensitive
anything
to
with it.
them.
I would say, as far as I know, there's no way to predict what could come from them, but there is a way to, or at least it is, as far as I understand, less common for something to come out of just a single line. However, if for any reason the two lines were to join together, it could open a portal to allow things through, meaning that it is much more likely that something dangerous could come through at 2 points where lines converge.
Yeah. I think you mentioned to me, Al, about that station, right?
Oh, you mean the zombie moon station thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Zombie
you
moon
think
station.
Oh, I
Yeah.
missed
Oh,
that.
you mean the
Sorry.
Shino? So the Shino Japanese abandoned station? Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that.
what you mean.
Yes.
We think that a rift might have opened up there and something came through.
So we can at least take from it that if we come across two lines converging, or if for whatever reason another line suddenly converges where we are close by, to be very cautious.
Not only that, um, when they connect, they seem to amplify in its energy, and it may attract. Let's just say something has come through previously that might stick around that area. On top of that, any sort of canal that may be around, if you see a storm, however far off, it seems to be moving towards, get out of the way.
Right. Ley line storms. I forgot about those.
So, oh, sorry, go ahead. You guys are still giving me your advice, so I'm going to shut up here.
Yeah.
Al would nod to Tom and say, "We're familiar with them being called ley lines. Ley line storms, as little as we know about them, can be incredibly dangerous. At least I've only experienced one, and
Yeah.
it is a storm that has the potential to throw you into a completely different time or place, from what I understand. And that is one of the more gentle things it could do to you.
Yeah. What we're basically trying to say is these what we call nexus points where two or more join are very, very dangerous points. So just make sure to have everybody on their guard. And if I know it's not the best thing to say, but if we see something coming, don't just shrug it off because we have a bit of experience. And
Yeah,
we'll-
yeah. Killing will say, well, that's why, for all intents and purposes, your primary is on this. So, I'm not dumb. If what you're saying is true, then, well, before I get into that, let me ask you another question. When these two connecting points happen, and you say shit can come out of them, how fast is it? Is it all of a sudden in a flash? Is there a warning sign? Is there one of these storms that you're talking about? How much time do we got?
As far as I can tell from my experience, usually things that need to transfer needs to open up a rift. It is visible, and sometimes it can be something that they're aware of and will come out immediately, or something that might happen in the middle of nowhere and nobody's next to the tear, the rift.
Killian will give a bit of a sigh, and he'll say, well, that's not the answer I was hoping for. Okay, alright, let me go about this maybe another way then. You say you're sensitive to this energy, right?
Yeah.
So you'd probably be able to sense something that's out of whack before the rest of us could observe it, right?
Me personally, I can only sense location.
Just in general, then your group's someone there.
He'll
Yeah,
look
we
over to Al.
could sense if
Patrick.
something is getting stronger, and
Yes.
if two lines were to converge into a nexus, obviously the energy would become more concentrated. That we could certainly feel.
Okay. Then this is what I'm going to give you. He says, in light of all this information, I'm going to assume there's no reason for you to fucking lie to us at this point. At least I hope there isn't. Suffice to say, I'm going to take everything that you told me as truth, as actual consultation. So using that information, I'm going to give you a special purview. Normally, only I, and in case I am otherwise incapacitated or in communication due to a radio malfunction or other nocturne, we are the only two that normally give any sort of orders for evacuation. But that's like giving a blind man, in this case, the ability to be the watch the lookout. Since you guys have more experience and more sensitivity to these canal lines, these ley lines, whatever the hell you call them, I'm going to give you that same clearance. So, if you tell us to bug out, for whatever reason, because of the storm or because of the energies are building up or whatever, and you think it's too much for us to handle, you get that communicative power. Is that understood?
Understood.
Good. We'll use the same methods of communication, a command radio and a general radio, but let's just say Nocturne and I will be all ears when you give the orders to get the hell off the planet. Darn, and just when I thought the bugs were going to be the things that we had to worry the most about, we would just be sitting on here for 10 days, looking at fucking bleeps and bloops on a screen. Then we got all this. Well, that doesn't change it. Baron wants it, and we gotta at least give it a shot. So are you ready to go down?
Not quite. There is
Okay.
one more piece of information that is greatly urgent.
Alright.
Now, some of these creatures, beings, whatever it may be, may need help getting through, and will try to maybe communicate with someone. Make sure that you are and your men are not tempted by power and greed that they may offer.
Do you think it's best to kind of keep our scouts away from these connecting points then?
It would be good to have them as a perimeter, maybe not stationed next to.
Yeah. No, the more you talk about these things, the more I'm not even going to set up their surveillance things right onto the damn things. We'll figure out a good area, a good range that we can get, pick up whatever the hell that we're going to try to sense. We have a whole litany of parameters, but yeah, okay. No one gets close to the nexus point. You got it.
If it was only for a day, I don't think it would be too much of a problem. 10, there may be enough time for something to happen.
Okay.
On the bright side, as far as I understand, the only difference between a canal line and the nexus point is simply the sheer amount of power. So any information you get, you should be able to get from a single line itself. Though, again, none of us are experts.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Anything else?
Keep on guard. Don't think this is going to be
A cakewalk.
Yeah. As Patrick then trails off in thought.
there'll be a long unless someone else says anything. There'll be like a long, almost awkward silence as like both Killian and Nocturne kind of wait to see what else he's gonna say. When it's clear that Patrick really just trailed off, Killian
Yeah.
Killian will repeat himself and he'll say, "All right, I'll brief everyone and make sure, especially the outcast dregs, are clear on what to do and what to watch out for." He pauses and he'll say, "If what you say is true, then I think I'll personally come down and to the surface as well. Make sure everything is set up perfectly. Sounds like we have very little room of error. Is that correct? You know, one guy wanders close to the Nexus, one person forgets this, that, or the other thing, and we might be fucked."
Yes, the possibilities are generally endless for the positive and the negative. So, keeping on guard and generally being on the more cautious side would be something that I'd recommend.
All right. Well then, give us a few hours to make sure everyone's on the same page and then prepare for my command for us to head back down. I'm going to transfer onto the Minor Innocence myself too, Nocturne. Get ready for a dock. Nocturne gives an understanding nod. And unless there's anything else, communications will end.
No, I'm good.
Okie dokie. So, honestly, what I have in mind is getting down there onto the surface of Mars. Is there anything you guys want to do in the meantime, or shall we move ahead to that point?
I
No,
think
I'm-
I'm good.
Yeah.
So we're basically our ship is basically going to be landing there, and we're just going to be living there for the next X amount of days.
Not necessarily. You'll be stationed down there. If you want to rest, the Rhapsody can come down and pick you up, and you can come up for a resting period and then be deployed, right? So it's not like you have to necessarily set up camp unless you want to set up camp, but your oxygen will run out, right?
Yeah.
Because you only have a 4-hour supply in your body armors, right?
Yeah.
So so once again, very similar like the Minor Innocence. It won't be stationed there the entire time because they want to keep a low profile, right? But it'll come down and pick you up for you to get oxygen rotations, more pollen yourselves, you know, and being able to rest and sleep. Okay, so it's not like you're going to be stuck on Mars's surface the entire time for these straight 10 days, like even sleeping there. So no worries about that. Okay.
Cool.
So now everyone's on the same page. I think I'll go ahead and describe the landing if that's good with you guys.
Sure.
Groovy.
Sure.
So, sure. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on over to a lovely picture I found from The Martian. Gorgeous picture of Mars's surface. You'll have to picture the ley line or the canal line yourselves, but it would help Inferno if you actually... Oh, you did drag them over to it. Okay, never mind. So there we are.
Well,
Okay.
actually,
Mhm.
what we can do is this white stuff over here is the ley line. Boom, boom, done.
Kind of, although that's more of a mist is kind of going around that small little mountainy area, and the ley lines are typically straight lines, but that's okay. Use your imagination as you will. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
So, let me just check ye olde noties. Okay. So, sure enough, your ship, the Rhapsody, and the Minor Innocence, now with Killian Blackwater on board, along with an unknown amount of personnel, descend to Mars, and once again, and you head to Syrtis Major. It is, as you can see by that small little illustration there, that picture there, it is a very rocky, barren surface. Very reminiscent of other areas of Mars that you've already visited. All right. It is currently daylight. It is not dark, so you're able to see everything just fine. And as your ship and the Minor Innocence both find a relatively stable and flat area to rest, you can already, once you've hit the surface of Mars itself, you can see two ley lines. One relatively thin and light, only about 10 feet tall, but the second one, much larger, thicker ley line, about double the size of the other one. And they crisscross in front. And what's interesting enough is that when you were on Earth, sometimes you saw ley lines disappear or end in mountains, right? Sometimes you saw ley lines almost float on the air sometimes. And sometimes, actually, theoretically, Patrick, you would know that some students of magic and rogue scientists such as yourself interested in the cult and magic and ley lines theorize that sometimes ley lines can actually pierce into the Earth's crust itself. But on Mars, it's different. Each of the rocky outcroppings looks like it's given way to the ley lines, and you now understand exactly why these things are called canal lines. It's as if the lines themselves bore into the ground and made the canals themselves. Or at the very least, the canals were always there, and the ley lines are now sitting in them, perfectly fitting like a glove. Regardless, it is a sight that you have all never really seen before. And soon, the network crew begins offloading and deploying the monitoring equipment, and scouting parties, under the strict guidance of Killian Blackwater, will begin to disperse along a 1-mile perimeter. Many of them are using very light all-terrain vehicles, while some of the more talented mutants, specifically from Outcast Station, will be able to keep pace, right? Or the few that are in what appears to be some form of power armor. The monitoring equipment itself is quite substantial. Large, bulky consoles that are being wheeled about. There are actually almost exactly 6 different devices, 2 of them with huge antennas that extend 20 feet up into the air. And you'll get a closer look at these things, but suffice to say, they have a suite of monitoring devices. Everything from monitoring heat, monitoring radiation levels. One of them seems to have some sort of motion detector that is being positioned towards the nexus point. Obviously, you have radar and sonar, of course, and a ground sensor system to monitor any sort of tremors. This, interestingly enough, is going to be used not only to monitor the ley lines itself, because they don't know what kind of energy they're trying to pick up, but there's a secondary bonus in that it is going to be covering a 500-foot area around. So if anything is crawling underneath the sensory area, then, like say, perhaps an ant, it will be able to be detected. Of course, these sensor systems take a few hours to set up. This is not something that is a quick wham bam, set it up and forget it, right? And a variety of other sort of sensor systems trying to pick up any sort of energy, whether it be thermic or sonic or visual, in the visual light spectrum. Okay. Also, as just a small aside as well, as the scouting parties begin to disperse, you do recognize one of the leaders of the scouting party, Lightbeat, the fellow who was the slightly kind of pocked, scarred fellow who led the squad while you were investigating that terraforming station where you first found those yellow flowers. He kind of gives you a little recognitive, almost a little friendly wave to you, and gives you a few words of good luck before he leads his squad of 6 individuals. They pile onto an all-terrain vehicle and they head off towards the south. Okay. I've been talking for a bit. I still have more to describe and more that happens, but I want to give you guys a chance to throw in your insights or role plays or anything like that? I'm going to take a pause, see if there's anything you guys want to say.
No.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Patrick, you good?
Patrick would be interested in the devices and probably be a little closer than in observation distance of all of the different things that are being set up.
Sure, not a problem. You'll be able to, as long as you don't interfere with anything, you can easily take a look at the surveillance equipment. You're not barred from it. In fact, you're very welcome to add in your own points. So you would know about all this stuff that I just described about the sensory equipment. Is there anything else in particular you want to know about it? If not, don't worry.
Not particularly.
Okay.
I think you'd just ask about the array of sensors and things like that. He's also been curious about ley lines and things like that, since they seem to be a very large key in a lot of the various things that has happened around Earth that he's interested in.
Okay. So, 3 hours after this initial deployment, the sensor systems have all set up at this point, and scouting parties have reporting here and there. There's been one beetle sign, just one very large one off in the distance, but it hasn't made any sort of approach. But you're able to hear on the command comm line that a scout party has reported in, and they found something by one of the blue canal lines about half a mile to the east. And they give a description of what appears to be some sort of humanoid body in the sand. You hear on the comm line for Killian to tell the scouting party quite firmly, actually, to stay exactly where they are, do not move, and wait for backup. Soon on the comm line, you hear Killian say, "I'm going to go check this out. I'd like you to come with me."
This is... Patrick will make sure before answering that everyone else is okay with this.
Yes, okay with this.
Yes.
And Puppy is nodding. Okie dokie. So, give me a moment here. So, sure enough, we're gonna say I think it's fair enough for you guys to take one of these little simple all-terrain kind of ATV special Martian vehicles with you, okay? And Killian's gonna hop on aboard. All right. So it's going to be what? Mila, Al, Tom, Patrick. We're going to say Alicia's on the Rhapsody. She's the one who dropped you off, and she'll be the one to call to in order to, get back on the ground and pick you guys up. All right. Do you guys want August, Bear, or Blink to be with you as well?
Well, I wouldn't mind if Blink wants to come along with us.
Yeah, of course.
I would say Blink at least. Bear's fine. Actually, I think from Al's point of view, when it comes to ley lines, the more, the better.
Okay, so all three, even August?
Mm-mm.
Not August?
The more combat capable, the better.
One of these days, there's gonna be a problem only August can fix, and you guys will be screwed. No, just kidding. Okay.
What are you talking about? There already was.
I know,
Squee save game.
No. I thought you were talking about trying to get into the security systems and whatnot of the colony.
Oh no, that is true.
One of the doors was unlocked though, which is really funny. So it's gonna be Bear, Blink, and you guys. All right.
You know what? This is a good bonding experience. Let's get August down here. Stuff it.
I don't agree with this.
Okay.
I think this is a horrible idea.
Okay, you've been outvoted, I'm afraid.
Sorry.
But I'm glad to see you're trying to reach out to August.
I'll just get
Good
some
luck
ice
again.
cream in my
Okay.
corner.
All right. So sure enough, you all hop onto this all-terrain vehicle. It's slightly cramped, but not uncomfortably so. All right. And you journey to the scout point. And sure enough, on a rocky outcropping, relatively high up, you see another smaller scouting ATV vehicle. You see a collection of 4 individuals, and they're up there, and one of them has a set of binoculars, or, well, kind of higher tech than just a simple pair, but the equivalent, at least, a telescopic sight, and he's positioning it. And you guys get up to him, and Killian takes the telescopic sight from his hand. He takes a look at it, and he says, "Has it moved at all?" And the leader of the scouting party, shakes his head. He goes, "Not at all, Mr. Blackwater." Okay. And he hands the binoculars over to your group ambiguously, and see who wants to take them from his hand.
Go ahead, Mila. This is your time to
Yeah,
shine.
Mila, go Mila.
Actually, Mila doesn't need to. Mila has amazing vision, so I'm going to be describing this, and both her and whoever has this telescopic sight will be able to see.
Unless Mila is still the one that grabs it.
Unless Mila is also the one that grabs it.
Question.
Fuck it, I have to be in character. Yeah, Mila will grab it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I have a question, DM.
Sure. Yep.
Were we requested to just have body armor, or would power armor be okay?
I'll leave it up to you, but suffice to say, no, I'll leave it up to you. He didn't say
'Cause
what.
I was thinking of bringing the glitter boy.
Okay, then you have the glitter boy, which has the telescopic sight, so you're fine then.
Sweet.
All right. So, sure enough, you see what appears to be both Mila with the binoculars. She doesn't see anything extra, by the way. But and Tom are able to see a little bit clearer now a half-buried form. It looks like, for lack of better words, some sort of dried up husk. It's not moving whatsoever. It's just sitting there half buried in the Martian sand. And a good approximately about 70 feet beyond it is the shimmering blue light of a ley line. But not a nexus point, just the ley line itself. After a while, Killian pauses for a moment, and he says, "All right." He goes to the scouts, and he says, "I want you to approach very carefully and very slowly, all right? Let us know what you see." And then he looks back to your group, and he says, "Keep behind us a little bit. Say 50 feet or so. That fine by you?"
Sure, we'll be right there.
Tom
Okay.
will answer by giving him a thumbs up.
In your giant power armor. Okay.
Yes.
So, Killian will nod, and he'll hitch a ride with the scouting party. And sure enough, a little miniature convoy goes in. The scouting ship, and then your own alt ATV, Martian terrain vehicle. Okay? And they get to the site where this thing is lying. And they deploy, and soon you do so afterwards. So, as you approach the body, as you get out of the ship and start moving, walking the 50 feet towards where Killian and the scout group is, you'll see the scouts. They're forming a circular perimeter around the body. And Killian is crouched nearby it, but he's simply observing it at this point. Oh, and I'll reveal a picture at this point, too, to give you better idea. Token layer. There we go. So, so its lower half is covered in Martian earth, and the body is clearly humanoid, with what appears to be 2 dried up arms that stick out of the red sand. Okay, 3 empty dried up eye sockets are in the center of this being's face, which implies that it had, at some point, 3 eyes. You can also tell that it has a short, squat nose, that one was for you, Mila, and what appears to be a long mouth and a defined, squarish chin. It's hard to tell if its skin was a natural brown or if it just became this way due to the exposure of Mars's elements. In addition, there are strands of fibers clinging to the body, what appears to be thin reds and yellows, implying that it wore at least some form of clothing, although that has long deteriorated. In addition, you can tell as you get a little bit closer now that there, in the glint of the red sun through Mars's atmosphere, you see a small silvery chain around its neck. And you can see Killian kind of tilting his head a little bit, almost like he heard something. He runs his hand into the dirt to the left of the body's head and pulls out from the earth what appears to be what was connected to that chain. A pristine, teardropped amulet, as displayed right there. The bulk of it seems to be made of some sort of glass or crystal, and inside of it is a blue, green, and orange coloration. Killian carefully unhooks the chain from the other side of the creature's neck, and he keeps the alien amulet in his right hand. He looks down on it, and you hear him give kind of a low whistle. Well, this is something. What do you think? You seen one of these things before? He asks as he gestures over to the body.
Nothing quite like that, no.
The big hulking figure of the power armor will shrug.
Gotcha.
Patrick will take a closer look.
Okay. Anything in particular you're looking for or want to do? Skill check, perhaps, or questions you have for Almighty me?
Generally looking at the thing at the end of the chain, at this particular moment. Actually,
Yep.
yes. I'm gonna turn off my internal radio, so
Okay.
what I say cannot be projected. And
Yeah, it's just muffled by your. And if you speak low enough, no one will hear it, right? But yeah, it's the sound is being contained in your helmet, and it's just being broadcast to the party members, not to Killian or the scouting crew. Correct? That's what you mean by the interior. I mean,
this is to myself and to no one else.
Okay. All right.
And he's going to say in Draconic. God, what is that freaking word? Is it Wayne or Woe? Shoot.
Yeah, it's Wayne.
Wayne.
Or I can't remember the other one.
Woe is for supernatural, and Wayne is for magical items.
So I'm checking for
So-
magical item at this point.
It doesn't vibrate.
All
But
right.
if you switch it to Wayne, it does violently.
So is it a magic item or a supernatural creature?
Supernatural.
Okay. Well, whatever it is, it's a powerful being that you might have in your hands or what's lying on the floor.
No, it's in Killian's right hand. Oh, but sorry, you're not saying that to yourself. Oh, unless did you say that to everybody now?
I actually switched it on and say that it is most likely a powerful being in your hand or the thing that's the dead body on the floor.
Oh, powerful being. It doesn't look so powerful from here, he says. looks pretty dead.
Al would say a lot of the bugs don't look so powerful after they're dead either.
So, do you think this thing is safe to move? Baron would really want something like this. Well, both these things, he says as he looks over to the amulet, to the necklace.
Well, I would say yes, but at this point, I think caution might be best to leave these here until we are ready to depart. I'd rather not test the waters so early.
Killian is listening to you. It appears that way at least. But he always looks down to his hand from time to time. Looks back up to you, goes, "Wait, what? You want to leave these things here?"
For the time being.
And goes, "Listen, the body, I understand you don't know what kind of diseases it might have or whatever, but this thing's harmless. I'm going to take this with us."
Alright, Killian, I'm going to have to take this as a direct order to you. Leave that here. And listen to yourself. Is it tempting you?
He goes, "The only thing that's tempting me is the explicit order that Baron Dioxin told me. You've been to his little collection room. I have been given exact instructions to secure any alien or strange mechanisms, and this," he gestures to his hand, "counts as that. That's all, okay? Don't worry about it." The end of his voice sounds a little firm, a little panicked.
Al will very calmly say, "You yourself gave us powers that you knowingly don't because you don't know. You're in unfamiliar ground. Are you so easily willing to ignore that?"
What? It doesn't just make any sense, you see? Like I said, I get the body, but what is this? This is nothing. This is some bauble, some alien bit of decoration, right? So what's the harm? It's not hurting us. It's fine.
Just as a scientist, let's test this. Please. For 10 minutes. Place it on the floor and back away from it.
His hand grips around the necklace even tighter, and he says, "No. Fuck your science, you just want this for yourself. I'm glad I came here first. I was worried you'd pilfer something like this."
Killian, you have watched us for several months. The cameras on our ship that we're not very fond of, you know the type of people we are. You know that we are not the type of people to pilfer things, and you know that we truly care about the lives of those around us. We are being serious, and you are being irrational.
Irrational, he says. Irrational? I think you're starting to forget your place. What is so irrational with me not wanting to let go of a prize artifact?
We
Maybe it's
are
this thing,
asking-
he says, and he points to the body.
Killian, we aren't saying you can't take it. We simply requested you put it down for 10 minutes, and you are refusing to do so. That is irrational, and I know you can see that.
For a moment you see panic in his eyes, and then his hand gets tighter and tighter, and you hear a crunching noise. And then suddenly, as if he was hit by a bolt of lightning, his body convulses, his arms splay to his sides, his legs jitter, his head throws to his back, and he seizures like a violently. He doesn't make a single noise, and this seizure continues for a few seconds until his body finally comes at rest. And he laughs. And he begins to babble this strange, unintelligent language. It's about time. And then finally his body slumps a little bit. He shakes his head. He takes a deep breath. He stumbles back. He looks at you. He looks at his hand. And the hand of his body armor is just filled with glittering crystal fragments. He says, "What? You broke it. You broke it."
Killian, we're over here. How could we have broken it?
I don't know. I let my mind wander for a second. You wanted this thing so much you wanted me to drop it. Why, did you wrestle me for it? It's broken now. Jesus! Do you know how much money we could have gotten for this?
Are any of the scouts around, or is it just us?
Oh
and
yeah. Oh yeah, no, they're all there. They were forming a perimeter. They kind of look wide-eyed at him, but they're not saying anything at this point.
Any of you that are around us, what did you see? Did we wrestle with him, or were we stationary right here?
The head scout, he says a little bit. He goes, "All due respect, there, Commander Blackwater. No one tried to take it from you. You had a episode or something. You looked like you, I don't know, had a seizure or something. And then he started to say something weird, and then here we are. You're the one who broke it, Commander." He goes, "What? I don't... Well, it was just an accident, I guess, then. Whatever, okay. What do we do with this body?"
Inferno.
Yeah, sorry, I'll shut up. Yes.
Is Ed still vibrating?
Yes. Even more so.
Shit.
Al's gonna take a look at Tom, Mila, and Patrick, and Bear and Blink, like very slowly, and he's going to say, as calmly as he can, "Men, a lot of you know me, but not very well. Do you trust me when I tell you that we are concerned for everyone's well-being?" And he's talking to the scouts.
Yeah, and they get a bit of a nod, but Killian gets indignant. He goes, "Who are you to talk to my men like this? I'm the commanding officer."
You are compromised, Killian Blackwater. You have been compromised by an object that none of us are aware of, but everyone has witnessed it. For your safety and the safety of everyone in the crew, I ask that you relieve your weapon.
"No," he says, "I will not relieve my weapon."
Then will you agree
But
to
if
remain...
you said I had a seizure... "No, I will not remain here," he says. "If you said I had a seizure, if I had some medical episode... Okay, listen. I admit, I blacked out there for a little bit. But let me go back to the minor innocence. Let me talk with the doctor. I'll have him give me a full physical, a full mental evaluation, everything. Okay?"
Go ahead.
I would like to say something over the our private channel, the group's private channel, if at all possible. Is that cool? Can I do that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I think he really, really wants to try and possibly... This seems like an infection, and he wants to infect more people. That's just off the top of my head.
So, just so you know, guys, I hope you don't mind me saying, Criana, but she's exhibiting just a little bit of pain. So she's here, but she's quiet. So she's just let me know what Mila is going to do. There we go. Sits down. So I'm gonna just say she's going into a meditative trance. So I'm just gonna say what Mila sees. That works for you guys.
Do it, sure.
So Mila, your vision comes quickly and clearly. You see what appears, it's first complete and utter blackness. And you see what appears to be, well, he's face down, so it's hard to tell, but he's wearing Killian Blackwater's body armor. He's face down on the ground. You can tell his form is not completely still. He's taking long, deep breaths as if someone's on a slumber. But that's not really what grabs your attention. What grabs your attention is the figure over top of it. It looks like it is... it's not a body. It's not a humanoid shape. It's this inky blue mass that is sitting on Killian's back. It has no eyes, it has no mouth, it has no ears, nothing like that. But you see two dark red coals burning inside of this inky vision. It looks directly at you and says, "Mine, get out." And the vision ends. Mila says, "Uh-oh." And she lets you know what she
shit.
saw.
Oh.
Via the radio, Mila, or out loud? Not hiding.
No, not hiding what she says.
Oh, shit.
Killian
Al
says,
is going to...
"This is fucked up. You are not telling me." He says, "I feel perfectly fine. I don't know, listen." And he looks over to the scouts for a moment, and he bites his tongue, and he says, "I know you guys have seen things that no one else has seen, okay? I acknowledge that, alright? But you're talking to me like I'm some sort of madman, or I don't know what's I can't control myself. I am Killian Blackwater. I am still me, okay? And I still have authority here. You cannot take my weapon. You will not take my weapon.
Killian?
I have no
you.
desire to hurt you. I have no desire. My only desire now is fuck this fucking body at this point. If this is creating such a tension," he says, and he sounds frantic, almost panicked at this point. And he'll say, "I just want to get out of here, all right? We only got 2 hours of oxygen supply left, okay? So I can't stay here. I'll fucking die."
You know that's not true.
Hold on. Killian. This is
Yeah.
very important.
Yeah.
You are right. You are Killian Blackwater.
Yes.
And if this is exactly what I fear it to be, make sure you never forget that. Write it
course not.
down. This is something that you need to do. Write it down every night. Type it down. Put it down. Make sure you convince yourself you are you. And make sure no one else can take that from you. I know you're a strong-willed person. And that might be enough to fight this.
Killian gives a bit of a sigh, and he says, it's a resigned sigh. He says, "All right. If it makes you feel any better, I'll do exactly that. I think you guys are making mountains out of nothing, but I'm not a stupid man. I'll do that. That's not a problem. Write down every night. I'll fucking do it every hour if you want. Remind myself of who I am. But I'm telling you, I'm fine. I'm physically fit. I probably just had some sort of
And
episode."
we're telling you, you're not.
How do you know? How do you know?
Al, this is not helping. The best thing
And
that
we're
we
not
can
letting him
do...
back on the ship, Patrick, where he can infect more people.
Infect? I'm in a completely contained biosuit. There's no bit of bacteria that can get to me. What do you mean infect? Mila raises her hand, by the way. Oh, Mila lowers her hand. Sorry. We're gonna give Mila a chance to say something.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mila
no,
has
she has
shifty
shifty. That's it. Thank you, Criana.
Al will
Alright.
turn to Patrick. Patrick, do you trust letting him back on the ships?
The best thing that he can do right now is make sure, if this is a possession, most likely there is a being trying to overtake you at this point. I don't think it is infectious, but it will try to slowly persuade you in different ways. And Killian,
Patrick,
yes.
do you trust him being on the ships right now?
I don't trust most
Killian gives
things,
Oh, sorry.
but I do
I
trust
finished.
Killian's will. And that's the best thing that he can have at this point, and lowering that will not help him.
I understand. And Al will switch to just the private team channel. Patrick, I'm seriously asking here. Are you willing to risk the lives of the others on the ships for him to go back?
Killian, while you're waiting for a reply there, Killian's going to give a bit of just a small smirk, his signature smirk, in fact, and he says, I'm just going to let you say all this stuff so you can hash it out, but I'm telling you right now, I'm going back to my ship. It's just that simple. I feel fine. I'm going to have a medical evaluation, and that'll be it. If there's anything that crops up, that's fine. I'm not interested in this mumbo-jumbo, okay? I feel if I'm possessed, if something's taking control of me, that you say, this is something straight out of fairy tales, first of all. And second of all, I would feel it. Wouldn't I? It's fine.
One things you need to make sure, though, is right now there is a problem.
I guess. Yeah.
wait,
There's a huge fucking problem right now, he says. Oh wait, no, wait, is that to
That is
Killian or to
that is to everyone. That is out loud.
So is Patrick ignoring Al, or?
He will turn it
'Cause
back
he
to
has
group
Al-
chat.
We'll pause. Yeah. Okay, we'll pause this conversation so Patrick can answer Al if he chooses to.
If you want
Oh,
precautions,
Mia also is asking what if we bring him with us.
Mhm.
if you want precautions, then we'll take precautions. But denying him himself is the last thing that we want.
Patrick, answer the question. Are you willing, trust him enough to risk the lives of the others on the ship? I'm willing to take whatever precautions you want, but it's a very simple question that you need to answer.
I'm weighing a lot of risks right now, and it's not a simple answer of yes and no.
It really, in this moment, we need to determine if he is going back to the ship right now or not. I understand his well-being. I understand I want more than anyone for him to be safe. But we need to determine if him going back to the ships puts others in danger, and if so, we need to know that now.
Yes. It would be dangerous for him to be put back on the ship without any restraints without anyone watching him, without him knowing the situation. But this is not that situation.
Al
What if
will,
we bring him?
switch
Oh,
back.
sorry.
Oh, no. Go ahead. You were going to say?
What if we bring him with us? Mila asks. There's something there, and she starts waving her hands around on him. Let's bring him with us so we can check him out.
I think you did that very well, Inferno. Very well.
Al would nod and say, if he's on the ship with us, at least we're the only ones in danger.
This is preposterous, Killian says. Absolutely preposterous. But listen, I have no intention of standing around here by this dangerous energy line that you told me about, he says. We'll leave the body here for now. He goes to the head scout. Mark it where it is. And tell you what, I'll humor you. I'll go aboard your ship, alright? I'll let you do the tests. But I'm going to tell you, you're going to find me physically fit and fine. Alright? It's just that simple. But if that's what's going to get you guys off my back and prevent a goddamn mutiny here in the middle of fucking nowhere on Mars, then so be it.
Al would switch over to the regular radio and say, I assure you, the last thing any of us want is a mutiny.
Good.
That's fine. Come with us to our ship. I promise you, we will not disobey any of your orders as long as they don't jeopardize the danger of anyone else in the fleet. The lives, not the danger.
Yeah, I know.
Jeopardize the lives.
I know. And
Jeopardize the
Killian's gonna shake his head and he said, I should have never given you the goddamn communication powers I did. That was a mistake. But I'll remember it for now, and I'll play along. But you better start watching how you talk with me. I am the commanding officer. You do not tell me what to do, Al. You understand? You can give suggestions, alright? You can give your insight. But you do not give me orders. Are we clear?
Killian, listen to yourself. You gave us permission to give orders, and now you're berating
To my crew!
just that.
To my crew, I gave you permission in case something came out of these fucking blue canal lines,
That's-
in case you sensed some sort of energy. To my crew to let the scouts bug out and get back on the ship, to let the surveillance crew bug out and get back on the ship. I did not give you the right to boss me around like I'm fucking nothing. I came across some goddamn alien necklace and it broke, and now here we are. You're saying listen to myself? I know exactly what I'm saying, and you're forgetting who you are.
Al will shake his head and say, let's just get back to the ship, sir.
Good, he says. Kind of gives a bit of a smirk. Mark it down. Let's go. I'm done talking anyway. Shall I travel with you? He asks, almost sarcastically, towards your group.
Al would
Mila
Mila
said
says sure.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he
Oh,
says,
sure.
all right, listen, I'm not saying you're lying. I'm not saying, like I said, if you said I had a seizure, I had a seizure. That's why I want to get checked out by the doctor, all right? But you got medical knowledge, Al. I mean, I seen you when we were traveling here. I saw you got really chummy with the doctor, Dr. Boville. So I'll let you check me out. You got a fancy medical wing there on the Rhapsody. We paid enough well for it. Might as well use it. All right, let's go.
Okay. We'll head back. Al's not gonna say anything right now.
Okay. So you head back. Killian is quiet. He doesn't say anything. He's still in a bit of a huff over the conversation, the heated conversation that you had. But he doesn't act out of sorts. His smirk is gone though. He's gone into himself, for lack of a better word. He's looking contemplative. All right. But you're able to get back to the Rhapsody. The Minor Innocence is quite nearby. You go past the surveillance equipment. Killian asks you to stop the the roamer craft, the terrain vehicle, enough so we can ask the surveillance crew how things are going with them via the radio, if that's fine by you guys. Or if you're going to stop them. Actually, it's not if it's fine by you. The question is if you guys are going to stop it.
No, of course not.
Okay, so he radios the guys. They say everything's set up. They're monitoring everything. Some strange peaks in radiation, but that might just be from Mars, not the ley lines itself. They have to get more control data to confirm it. He goes, all right. He says, I'm going to go aboard the Rhapsody for a while. Nocturne, report your findings, and I'll scout reports to Nocturne for now while I get things sussed out with the Rhapsody crew, he says. Looks over to you guys in a dismissive, kind of peeved off tone. But otherwise, you're able to board back again the Rhapsody itself. Killian gets out of the ship along with the rest of you guys. Mila offers to show Killian his room, and he gives a bit of a scoff. He says, listen, first of all, I've seen your room, Mila. I've seen it from many different angles. Second of all, I think we got bigger things to worry about. You're all acting weird around me, and here I am. Now I have to prove to you that I'm still the competent commanding officer that I know I am. So, let's go.
Yeah. This is my first time doing this. Al.
Mm-hmm.
You do the physical checkup. I'm going to collect some things.
Okay. Also, Killian, if I
Yeah?
may only suggest, and of course, it's a suggestion,
Good. I like
Have the-
suggestions, he
have
says
the
with a smirk.
scouts make a full report of everything they saw to, I'm sorry, out of character. I'm blanking on her name real quick.
Nocturne?
Nocturne, yeah. He'll say, Nocturne, if everything is like you say it is, it'll simply make your story stronger.
Yeah. All our scouts are required to give reports, although, yeah, some of the outcast dregs are known to be pretty sloppy on that. But that crew that were sent out, they're hired network employees. They'll get the job done. Don't worry about that.
I was referring to the scouts that were with us about today's
Yeah,
events.
the scouts that were with us are trained network crew. They're fine. They'll give a report to Nocturne, and I'll get that report too. It'll be officially logged. Don't worry about that.
Okay. Well then,
So it won't be just a us versus me versus you type of thing. In fact, I'm glad that they're there. You're right. It will make it very clear what happened. Maybe I just had a seizure. Maybe there's something wrong with my brain, he says. I've been thinking about it on the ride over, he says. You know, I've always handled stress really well. That's one of my strongest points, but I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Can you have an aneurysm like that? What are the other symptoms of something like that?
well, an aneurysm is not likely. You're too young
Okay, well,
to have. And Al would kind of start going into it. Seizures are not uncommon for someone with a condition like that, but for a healthy individual, have you ever had a seizure before?
He pauses for a moment. He lowly says, "No, not that I remember, not that I know, not that I've been told."
Do you
How about we start with a
remember-
brain scan?
And Al will do, and he'll speak to this while he's kind of setting him up, and he'll say, "Do you remember?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you're heading over to the
Right.
to the medical wing while you're talking. Yeah, sure.
Do you remember seeing anything bright lights, something flashing, something that may be triggering to your senses that would overload them?"
Just the blue light from the canal line, he says. It got really bright for a moment there.
No, that's not. That's if that made us have seizures, we all would have had it.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
agree with you. I'm concerned. Let's figure this out. Look, Killian, we may have our problems, but I'm a doctor. When you're in there, I have an oath to keep.
An oath, he says. Oh yeah, what's up, Piph?
So, Killian, maybe to convince you of the situation, okay, I'm going to go get some materials, but this might be a good demonstration. Just view me while I do this.
Okay. He says.
And in Draconic, without his radio on to anybody,
Mm-hmm.
he's going to say homeward.
Homeward?
Homebound.
Oh, you're going to the Golden Place?
Oh, homebound. So wait, with Killian or just
No, not
just,
with Killian. Just
by
by
yourself?
myself.
So you disappear out of sight. Okay. Killian blinks for a moment and he says, "He's gone." He brings a hand out to kind of poke at the air where he was. And he'll say, "Is he an invisibility mutant?"
Nope.
No, he's not.
Not a mutant at all. He's not even a psychic.
Huh. So he used that bag of his.
And I do believe out of character Mila wanted to go along with Patrick. So
Yes.
Did?
Well, actually, since all of you guys, I guess you all are kind of not clumped up with Killian, but in the general area. Yeah.
Al would raise an eyebrow and give a little like a bemused grin and say, "So you know of the bag?"
Well, last time you guys went on the before you headed down for our first harvest, before you knew the cameras were installed, he did the same disappearing trick after he went into his quarters and retrieved a bag.
Yeah.
I had assumptions that that's what he used, but you just confirmed it now. He kind of gives a bit of a smile.
Al shrugs. He says, "I'm not your enemy. I'm not trying to hide those kind of secrets from you anyway."
Yeah. He gives a bit of a sigh. Is he going to come back anytime soon? Or do you want to do this physical thing?
Let's get started. I honestly am not sure what he's doing, so...
let me know
the
if you need help, Doctor.
The more and more this is going on, Killian keeps sounding a little indignant, but he's starting to sound tired. You know what I mean? Or almost like resigned. A lot of his resistance that he had by the ley line, by the creature's body is, I don't know, he's lower energy now at the very least. Do you know like someone who's been like waiting in a waiting room for like 3 hours and they finally get to see the doctor and now they just want it to be over with?
Mm-hmm.
That's his attitude.
Okay.
So, did somebody want to come with me? Was that something I heard?
No.
No. I wanted to know if Killian came with you. Because you said, "Look at me," right? And I know you have to touch him, right? But I was confused there for a moment. But you just wanted to prove that magic was real.
I love to respond that, no, who would want to go with you?
Wait, does Mila want to go with? Did
Yes.
Mila want to go with Patrick?
Well,
Above that,
Oh, Mila
Mila is
followed
following Patrick. Oh, he's there. Cool. So I figured she wanted to go along with him to go into the Golden Place.
Oh no, see, I just assumed this is okay. No, that's fine. Mila's there with you too, Patrick.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, hey, Mila.
Hi. Yes. Dancing on her feet. Where is Jackie?
Jackie is there on top of the. You can see her right there.
Mila grabs Jackie. She's deactivated right now, though, so Jackie's asleep. But Mila's bouncing happily. You can turn Jackie on if you want.
Right.
You know how to. Oh, never mind. She's sleeping. Aw.
Jackie.
That reminds me when you first got Jackie. She was in the box, deactivated, and Mila cuddled it. All right. Anywho, what do you want to do here in the Golden Place?
Dragon bone. There you are. Demon blood? Maybe? I'll take it. I need all the components I can get. Did I bring anything else? Well, the skull's gone. I can't use that. That's what I have to do.
Patrick, what you doing? Patrick.
Mila. He switches the what are those things called? Whatever, glasses over back to his other hand as he addresses Mila. Talking's hard today.
Aw, Pat. I've had days like that too. I understand.
So, I observed and read slightly about rituals to at least know if possession is in effect. I have a pretty good idea that that's going to happen, but maybe this will convince him?
Maybe. You'll have to find out. Oh wait, are you asking? No, you're talking to Mila. Oh my god! Jesus, Inferno! You moron! Your characters are training in character. Mila says okay. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Did you want anything else from this? I brought a lot of my things. I did not remember to ask anybody else if they wanted to bring anything else.
Now,
Okay.
I got Jack.
Yes. Okay. So I think I have salt, right? Oh, shoot. Do we have salt? Oh, no.
Yes, you have salt. We talked about salt before, in fact, I think.
Alright.
Yeah, actually, Al.
Because salt chemically, because you can chemically make salt, for lack of a better word. So yes,
Okay.
there's salt available on the ship, but not in the Golden Place.
Okay. It's back at the ship. Ready to go, Mila?
Shout! Is that like Mila's bored face? Oh, she accidentally typed that. Alright, so both of you leave. Both of you go through the entranceway, the doorway, and you pop right back into existence a few minutes later. Tom and Al are gone. They're in the medical wing. So at this point, while you guys are doing that, let's switch back to Al and Killian and Tom. And what do you want to do there, Al?
Al would run tests on him, and
Okay.
while he does so, he would ask them. Well, we can do this in character. Killian.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Wait, as a DM, I'm going to tell you,
Mhm.
since you're running your test, for the first time, I'd like you to use your medical doctor
Oh.
skill check. No
well-
modifiers.
Hang on. Diagnosis or treatment? I would assume diagnosis, right?
Diagnosis, exactly.
Okay.
He's not sick. Well, that you know
Well,
of.
that we know of.
he says that the DM giggles. But he's not physically ill that you know of, so it's a diagnostic. Yes.
Got it.
Hurry!
I succeed by 12.
Great. All right. No, but ask your questions first.
He's going to
just need
say,
know.
sure. He's going to say, this will sound a little strange, but if there is any sort of brain trauma or unusual brain patterns, this will help. I'm going to ask you questions
Okay.
about yourself, and of course, answer as best you can.
He says, "All right, but I'm gonna let you know I'm not giving up any network secrets."
This is going to be questions about who you are, not what you know.
Oh,
And
okay.
Al will say, what was the most embarrassing moment you had as a child?
I'm not saying that. Killian says,
Do
"Ask
you
another
have it in your
question."
mind? It's more important
Yes,
to me
I
that
do.
you can remember. And be
Oh,
honest with
all
you
right.
can't.
All right, fine. Like I said, I'm not interested in airing my dirty laundry in front of you, but okay, I'll think about it if that's what you want. I'll focus on it. He says, and he closes his eyes. He goes, "All right, think
I'll
about it."
try and find questions that you would not mind sharing too.
Sure. Just ask yourself, Al, what would you answer to? And he
Hmm.
opens one eye and gives a smirk.
Al thinks about it for a second, and then he says, well, "What was the name of your mother?
Francis.
Did you have any
Blackwater, of
siblings?"
course. Nope, only child.
And as he does this, Al's going to do the things. And then,
Sure.
I can't think of any at the top of my head,
That's
but he's
fine.
going to
That's
ask him
okay,
a
but
battery of
don't worry.
questions that...
Sure. So I can give you, I'll give you the results because this will take more than just a few minutes.
Mhm.
So let's switch back to Patrick and Mila.
Sure.
What do you guys want to do? Would you want to meet back up with Killian in the medical wing?
Yes.
Okay. All right, you do so. You see Al and Tom. Tom's just kind of standing at the side offering his help, but Al is running some biological scans, specifically brain scans, with a lot of the diagnostic machinery that he has. Hi, Tom. Uh, and uh, and and Killian is answering questions from time to time. Now the question is, Patrick, do you want to interrupt this, or do you want to wait for Al to finish and then do what you had in mind?
He's actually setting up on the other. Is this, if it's large enough, another part of the room or
Your
another?
medical bay is quite spacious, actually bigger than the one when it was on the Behemoth.
Oh, wow.
Probably
Okay.
triple the size, actually.
All right then. So he's going to set up his circle,
Okay.
and he's going to try to mimic what he saw with. I cannot remember his name. Oh shoot.
Lee?
No, actually, there was another gentleman that was part of the society.
Zacharias.
Yeah,
Zacharias Gilson. Yep.
he did a.
Did. So what I want you to do, what I would like you to do then,
Mhm.
Patrick, is I want you to roll lore. I want you to do two skill checks: lore magic and lore demons and monsters.
Mhm.
Okay. Because your intelligence is so high, I'm going to say your character has a very good memory. So there's going to be no penalty to the lore magic. All right.
Okay.
For lore demons and monsters, I want you to make it harder by 15.
Okay.
Okay. Let me know what you get, and then I'm gonna finish up with Al and then go to you. Right. I'm just kind of already prepping myself for the knowledge your character will have.
Okay.
Okay. So which one was that?
That one was lore magic.
Okay. So that is you failed by 8. Okay. So that's no problem.
And this is harder by 15, so that is that. Yay!
23. Okay, no problem. No problem. I have it all. I have a good mind what to let you know. Okay. So don't worry. By the way, I just want you to know how I do skill checks. All right. Even though you rolled that 94 and that 82, right? That doesn't mean you don't know anything ever, right? Like
Right.
your skill gives you base knowledge, right? How much you succeed by is kind of bonus information that you get. Okay. So
Mhm.
don't worry. You're not going to do all this and you're going to know nothing. All right, because your character isn't stupid. He doesn't know nothing, right? Anyways, but let's continue here with the medical examination, for lack of a better word. So, Al, you continue to ask questions, do brain scans and whatnot. And after I'm consulting your skill check, of course, and I can let you know that you know with extremely good certainty, although not absolute certainty, extremely good certainty, that Killian's brain, his physical, neurological brain, is in perfect shape. There's no sign of an aneurysm, no sign of a tumor, no sign of perverse synaptic growth, no sign of any oddities or abnormalities whatsoever. And his responses, the right parts of the brain lit up, his emotional memory and his long-term memory. Those areas of the brain lit up very predictably.
Okay. Here's an interesting question.
Okay.
And I kind of assumed there would be, but I'm not sure. I don't, because none of us are brain surgeons or anything. Would there did I come up with any lingering signs of a physical seizure? Like for example, I don't know, maybe a seizure
Like an
would
aftershock?
change brain activity some way or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Any
would.
signs that
You're
there was
absolutely right.
a physical seizure?
That is very, very apt. And you're right, that was actually a really interesting question. I'm impressed because seizures, even mild seizures, you can, like, for example, if you do an MRI after someone has a seizure, it's you can kind of see the after effect, right? The minor damage, for lack of a better word. Killian doesn't have it.
Mhm. Okay. All right.
Killian didn't
Um.
have
mhm.
a traditional medical seizure.
Got it. Al's going to keep that to himself and then move on to other tests. He's going to check blood pressure, heartbeat, vitals. Obviously, he's appearing very tired. Al's going to see if his body is showing signs of fatigue.
Sure. His body is actually showing some minor forms of fatigue, yes. Like if he hasn't slept well in the past week.
Al would then ask,
Ooh.
"How has your sleep been the past few days?"
Not good. I've had a lot to go over, frankly, and a lot of information to process. I've been up a lot of nights going over that data that you took from the colony security terminal. So I've gotten like maybe 2 hours of sleep every night. Maybe.
I see.
I can't really
A
remember.
man of your stature probably does that a lot. So, out of curiosity, do you feel any more tired than you think you should feel? Fatigued, drained.
Tired no more than usual, I guess, he says. Frustrated, yeah. But tired, not really, no.
Frustration's understandable.
hmm
Well,
It's just really perplexing to me, he says. I am using every ounce of my willpower not to, pull rank on you right now, all right? Because he gives a sigh. I'll be honest with you, the looks you gave me and the looks my men gave me worries me a little bit, you see? But I know this means nothing coming out of my own fucking mouth, but I am fine. I feel just fine. He kind of gives another sigh. Now with that,
I'll,
oh sorry, keep going now.
no, actually, he'd let Al would let him finish.
Okay. No. I, as the DM, was going to switch over to what Mila does, which is her
Yeah, sure.
telepathy. But are you cool with that?
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
So use your ISP there, Mila, and you get. Oh wait, I have to have Killian save. He wouldn't want you to read his surface thoughts as much as I want him to. If you don't get it once, now, when you fail like that, Criana, yeah, give me a moment here, because here's the interesting thing. A lot of times, remember when you tried to read that lady's mind outside of Green Castle, the one who ended up being an alien intelligence? You got like a block, right? This one is like you missed your target, for lack of a better word. So, in all actuality, wait, well, how do I want to do this mechanic? Can someone just keep on trying and trying as long as the ISP, or should a failure just be a failure for a while? The DM asks himself out loud. Because it works both ways. What would you guys prefer? Because if I had someone who was telepathic who wanted to communicate to you, right, and you guys succeeded, would you want that to just be a success for an X amount of time, or would you like them to be able to try until they have the ISP? What do you think is fair to you guys?
I kind of like the way you just described it, in the sense that there's being blocked. and then there's kind of missing the target. And I could
Yes.
imagine that one would have different effects than the other. If you just kind of miss the target, you can always shoot again. If you're blocked, you're blocked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Maybe something
blocked
like
for
that?
sure.
Yeah, so if you have mind block, right, or group mind block, or auto mind block auto defense, you fail once, you're never getting in, right?
Mhm.
Or you're not getting in for a very long time, right? But if someone just resists you the first time, I always think to myself, like, what's to stop the psychic from just trying again?
Yeah,
Although
I mean,
Killian,
I kind of...
you know what is? This is what I'll do. I'll let you try again, but Killian, since he resisted it, he knows something up. He doesn't know exactly someone tried to read his mind, but Killian is going to say, wait a second. My head got cloudy there for a moment.
Oh, Al's gonna say, wait, what do you mean? Your head got cloudy?
I don't know, like someone had a hand and they were pushing up against my brain and then they let go. Oh yeah, sure. You can say something, Mila, and then try to read again. Sure. Anybody in here? So you say that out loud with your voice, or is that what you're saying? Oh no, you're telepathically saying that to him and then reading his surface thoughts. Got ya. Okay, let me do it again. All right, Killian, you're tough, but you're not that tough. So, Killian, his eyes go wide for a second, and I'll let you know what Mila says, and then I'll switch back into non-psionic space, okay? So Mila, you transmit your thought there, and then you read his surface thoughts. And his surface thoughts are confused. Killian, his surface thoughts go with, oh shit, I thought I was fine, but now I'm hearing voices. God, I don't want them to be right. Jesus, what did I get myself into? No, keep a grip on yourself, Killian. You're fine, you're in control. Remember your name. Do what Patrick said at the very fucking least. So you're getting the vibes of a cognizant but confused man. But there's another voice. Far in the back, in the shadows. You can't see it, but you get the image of like a predator waiting in the dark bushes at night, all red eyes and fangs. And you hear a whisper. Get out. Mine. And then you're kicked out of his head. I don't mean your telepathic stops. You are kicked out of Killian's head. Back on in reality, Killian says, I heard a voice. I heard your voice, he says. He points over to Nora now. He said, anybody in there? Are you affecting me? Are you it? And he stands up and he's angry. Are you taking over my head? He points accusingly over at Nora. You cut him off, and he listens for a moment. Oh, not a problem.
Oh, okay, sorry, Criana.
It's alright, I have no one to blame but myself. Alright, so Nora will walk over slowly to Killian and she'll say, I'm not talking to you, Killian, but whoever's in there, I'm gonna kick you out. And that is a threat.
Killian looks at you with wide eyes and he says, you've all gone crazy. You've all gone completely mad. The Baron should have never took you on this trip. He should have just left it solo. Who the hell are you people?
Oh,
Killian?
we're gonna be the people who save your ass. Just you wait.
Nora, you're not helping.
I think I might be helping. I'm just tired of the little guy that's in the back of his head hiding like a coward.
I understand, but bringing that guy out might be very damaging.
Oh,
at the moment.
Al, I think maybe it might help. But if
There's a
he just
low
wants to
mumbling
hide...
voice. Killian, sorry. Sorry.
No,
I didn't mean
no.
to interrupt.
No, you're
You're-
good.
It's okay.
Al's
Killian
actually
gives a
gonna stare
low.
at Norm for a while and then go quiet.
Okay. Killian will give a low mumble and he'll say, "Outside. Let's talk outside."
Okay.
Outside
In
where?
space.
The ship. Leave the ship onto Mars. Let's talk there. It's getting stuffy in here. You're crowding around me. Outside. Please.
Nora will walk away.
Nora's walking away?
Yep.
Like walking away to outside or just walking
She's
away
going
from
to the
situation?
cockpit. She's gonna land this damn ship with her.
No!
Oh, no, it's already landed. It's already
Oh, it
landed.
is? Oh, okay. Then
Yeah.
she'll
Yeah.
go. Yeah, she'll go outside.
Okay.
Let's antagonize either Killian or this thing and see what happens. I'm gonna go back to being mute because my jaw is
Okay.
on fire.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. That was very entertaining and very interesting. So I'll be quiet. Is everyone fine with this? I should ask first. Because Killian is standing up to go out.
Yeah, just with
And
He cut
Squee
himself
muted.
off.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
he
you
said
cut yourself
just
out, Squee.
1 second. I do
Okay.
believe that's what he
Then
was
we'll
trying
then we'll wait a
yeah.
moment.
Sorry, I was trying to
Yes.
close the door for the dryer. Yes, Al would agree to this very calmly, and he would say, "Killian,
Yeah.
you want to go back outside on Mars?"
Yes. Please.
Okay. And as the ship's descending, Al's going to say, "Killian,
Mm-hmm.
I need to show you the results of my tests, and you need to listen to me very carefully. You know that you had a seizure."
I'm listening.
Al will be very calm. There are no signs that you physically had a seizure. There should be. Anyone who has a seizure for any sort of physical reason whatsoever would have unique brain patterns. There is no evidence at all that this seizure of yours, the blackout, was caused by anything natural.
Killian looks at the readouts that you show him on your screen, and he looks to you and he says, "You're smart, Al. You're very smart. Before we do the scene with Killian outside, poor Piph, who's been organizing all this shit. And
Yeah,
waiting,
he's
waiting.
everyone left, and he's midway putting down a piece of dragon bone in his
Hey,
body.
I'm
He's just
still there.
oh.
Yeah, Tom's still there. No, they haven't left just yet. I just want to move to you. I don't want to interrupt what you were doing. If we can work this into the scene before we hit Mars, that's the important thing. But if you're fine doing this after, that's good too. It's up to you. I'm giving you.
I've rolled probably pretty poorly that I'm spending most of my time just trying to figure out how this is set up.
Well, not that poorly. Problem is I need you to actually do the rituals before I let you know what you know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want to wait to the rituals until after Mars, until after what's going on in Mars, after this conversation with Nora, I guess?
Strategically, I would like to do it before.
Okay, then we'll make it work. Here's the thing. This is what I'm gonna do. Okay, and hopefully everyone's okay with it. I think there was a bit of a mistake. You guys went back on the ship, and the assumption was that the ship took off, right? But it's not. It's not landing. It's not anything. It's still on Mars, right? Rhapsody never left the landing zone. So I think before they go outside, Patrick will be like, "I want to do a few more tests before we have this conversation," and Killian will relent to it. Is that fine by everyone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Works for Nora. All right. So, what do you do, Patrick?
Okay. Ritual. Conductor. Circle. And this should just be the test for see if there is a possession, I believe.
Okay. So you have Killian stand in the center?
Yes.
Okay, Killian does so. He seems a little confused and bemused, right? But he plays along, and he kind of stands there. He has a relaxed position. He has that smirk on his face again. And as you do this ritual as best as you can recall from Zacharias Gilson, a few things come to light. The first is that you did the ritual well enough that, and the feedback that you got from your conductor was well enough, that there's a very good chance that Killian is possessed. Unfortunately, you did not do the ritual well enough to call this possession out, if possible. In fact, from your recollection, you know of 3 different things that could be the cause of this. All right? The first is an alien intelligence. Alien intelligences are very powerful, and they're known to possess humanoids and other such things. Interestingly enough, alien intelligences prefer to make pacts and agreements with humanoids because that is a much stronger bond that is very hard to break. But sometimes they're known, some alien intelligences are known for just taking a quick possession, all right? Of course, the other root of it could, of course, be a demonic possession. Specifically, things such as a Labasu lost soul. The last thing is that it could be an entity. You encountered entities before, back in the ruins of Aberdeen, those ghostly entities that were feeding on the residual emotions of the things that died around it. There is, you recall from the same book that you read in New Laszlo, you do recall a very rare and very dangerous entity called a possession entity. That could also be the case. It's one of those 3. An unknown alien intelligence, a demon such as the Labasu lost soul, or maybe a possessing entity. You'll have to do more research to narrow it down, though. That's all you could glean from this ritual.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
no, that could just be something else. Never mind.
You good? Shall our next scene be the Martian,
Yes.
the Mars conversation? Okay. So, once again, Killian turns quiet, and all of you, will say, head back onto the Martian soil, and he speaks. Killian speaks to pretty much everyone, but his eyes a lot of times are focused on Nora. Nora and Patrick and Al. Well, all of you, really. Honestly, I can't really name it out. He looks from time to time. And his helmet is on, but you can see through the clear view screen. There's something about his face. It's slightly different. And you finally, after a bit of conversation, you realize what it is. Killian isn't smirking. He's giving a full-on smile. And he says, "Know that cameras inside. wanted to speak clearly and plainly. It speaks in Killian's own voice. But it seems to over-enunciate a lot. And it says, I just want to have fun. I like this vessel, this Killian. Want to keep it for a while. Longer I'm inside, more memories, more mannerisms, more things I know. I know I can feel disagreement between you and the Killian. Is that correct?
There is tension, yes.
Good. Tension is good. And all of you, I'd like you to roll me a d20, please. Nora, you lose 20 ISP temporarily. Tom, you lose 20 ISP temporarily. Patrick, you lose 10 PPE temporarily. It's like you cast a spell and you used it. All of you actually, interestingly enough, psychics, it's a feeling of the general mental energy that you have, and Alan Patrick is magical. One of the biggest things that Lee taught you was to sense that energy around you within yourself. And in the sensing, all of you realize you feel not incredibly weaker, but you feel like something has been taken from you. And it says...
Do I not feel that?
You do. No, you don't feel it. It doesn't affect you.
Okay.
And Killian, he uses air quotation, continues. Good. You do not care for the Killian. The Killian does not care for you. You are smart humans. I should reward smart humans. He points to the ship. You take ship. I make sure the Killian does not stop you. We make deal, it says.
Al will look at Nora and nod, and he says,
The human is making sounds as if it is amused.
We would never agree to this.
You must agree, or you will be part of my fun. It is, oh wait. This vessel also makes amused sounds that I like. You do not know what true fun is. You do not know the power I possess. I use the Killian. The Killian I know has power, has secrets, has other humans do whatever it says. You cannot stop me.
Motherfucker.
It can be explained. That one elf said nothing wrong with Killian brain, also said no seizure, but can change that fact easy.
Too late. I have the records.
There is other doctor starts with B. We'll go to him. he'll do another test, that more trusted than you. I speak for Killian. Give up. Let me have my fun. Done with bleating of this human. Cannot even break into the Killian anymore. You are weak. Your words fail you. Also wanted to get onto Mars so I can return to other ship. You cannot stop me. I am not afraid. You are just obstacle to my fun. Perhaps breaking obstacle could be even more fun. Was stupid to give you a choice. Should have just played along for more. Shall you see me play? Would you like that?
Add a character real quick, Inferno. Does any armor have like recording software? I'm sure body armor doesn't, but
No. No. Not even power armor.
That's fine.
Killian brings a hand up to his helmet to access his radio, and he says, "This is Commander Blackwater. I am returning to the Minor Innocents. If anyone tries to stop me, in particular the crew of the Rhapsody, please deal with them." He turns off the radio and says, "Goodbye, humans. Sleep careful." And he begins to walk.
Oh.
Well, hang on. First,
Yeah.
I think Mila.
Yeah, I'm stopping as Mr. God. Stopping as Mr. God. It's okay. I thank you very much, guys, for not interrupting myself or Killian. If we need to backtrack a little bit, we can backtrack a little bit. It's all good. It's all good. And I'm not making him make a run or anything like that. So what do you guys have in mind? What do you guys want to do?
I want to see what
Is
Nora
there
wants to do
any way
first.
to infiltrate the other ship? Like, you mean, like you guys infiltrating the other ship? Of course, very much so. Sure. Of course you guys can sneak aboard the other ship.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know what the monitoring devices are and whatnot, but you have a small advantage. First of all, you know that a lot of scouts and whatnot, a lot of the, not all the crew, but a lot of it are out and about, right? So the Minor Innocents, at least for right now, is not nearly as greatly manned as the other. The second thing is that Al has been on the Minor Innocents before, so he knows the layout pretty well.
And he can go invisible. So there's that. So
I don't
he's planning on going to the Minor Innocents?
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
My idea is Al's not going to let him go anywhere.
Well, you guys spitball what you
let's-
want to do.
My,
Spitball.
I think our best option right now is to look. We've already had the scouts report to Nocturne. The scouts will say what they saw. I already have records showing that there is no physical signs of damage. That should be more than enough to let her know that something weird's going on here. We detain him. We make it very clear that we are detaining him because of what's going on. Nocturne has full control, not us. We are not causing a mutiny. She is in command.
Use the washroom real quick. Keep on talking, my friends.
So my thought is, we keep him there. Just wrap a carpet of adhesion around him. Yeah, and if that doesn't work, of course, yeah, we infiltrate. But I'm curious though, what would we do when we infiltrate? I mean, what's the goal after we get in?
I don't know. The only thing that's really coming to mind is to actually stop him before he got that transmission out. And by stop him, I mean I'm in my glitter boy, I punch him in the face. And then we make it look like he shot at us using his gun.
What? Why?
I don't know.
Okay, my thing is, I'm thinking that's not
We're
going to stop him
defending
from transmitting unless you crush his skull.
Well, I mean, it would break his helmet, is what I'm trying to say.
Then you're going to kill him.
Well,
We don't
don't
want to
know.
kill him, do we?
I don't know.
I think
I've got nothing for this. I don't know what to fucking do.
Okay, here
I've
now here's the
got no
question.
skills or none of my psionics work. I'm just...
Here's the question. I'm with Nora on this one, but do we have the ability to get demons out? I don't think any of us are quite equipped.
Do any of you have exorcism?
Looking at my character sheet here.
Like, even Piph. Do you have exorcism, Piph?
If I do, it's very minor and novice level.
You don't
No, I
have
mean
exorcism.
the spell. Yeah.
Although I will say this to help you guys out just a little bit, because you're talking about what you don't know. Both Al and Patrick would get a not really flashback, but it's just a memory of their lessons with Lee, right?
I already
And when
was
Lee
thinking of that.
Pardon me?
I was already thinking of that. Can I try to guess what it is?
Sure.
So back in the lessons, conversion or even taking of PPE is very close, if not impossible. That just happened to me somehow.
Mhm.
So that would give me a
So-
lot of information just there about what we're dealing with.
It sure would. It sure would. Let me hit two things now, because
Okay.
that isn't exactly what I was going to say. But what I was going to say was that Al and Patrick, in your lessons with Lee, when he talked about the different types of magic, he talked about shifters and summoners and necromancers, and he said no summoner worth their salt would just wear a belt. The smart ones wear a belt and suspenders. You always have a backup in case something goes wrong. Because if he had a nickel every time some lame brain necromancer summoned something that they couldn't control, he'd be rich right now and wouldn't need this job. So, and now here's the second thing. You're right. You did get more information since you were you were drained PPE. So I'd like you to roll me a Demon and Monster lore again, and this time make it easier by 10.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, that definitely
Jesus.
helped. So, the demons, most demons, non-demons that you know of can drain PPE or ISP. And there might be an alien intelligence out there that did it, but it's not something that you've come across. But you do remember an entry in that new Laszlo book in its library about the ability of the possessing entity.
Yep.
It is generally considered to be the most powerful and dangerous of all the entities. Intelligent, malevolent, and relishes in human torment and anguish. A psychic vampire that feeds on PPE and ISP of the victim and those around it. In fact, you also know that standard spells to control entities, to ward entities, and other such ghosts do not work on it. Only a pure exorcism or talking the damn thing out tends to work.
What if you were to kill the vessel?
Well, it doesn't do the vessel any good, and it doesn't kill the entity.
It doesn't kill the entity?
Patrick says it doesn't.
Fuck. Okay, then my idea was out from the very beginning. I was talking about just slamming a power armor fist into his helmet, but okay.
So, any sort of spells like horrific illusion and whatnot just wouldn't work.
Well, you don't know about that.
Okay.
You do know that you don't know about that, and Patrick also would know at this point that its natural form is invisible, completely invisible. Its conventional weapons do not harm it, although magic and psychics can. But while it's in a body, it is as susceptible as any other body is, but it would destroy the host.
Okay, guys, you know what
But
my
it's
thought
invisible. You used the word invisible, correct?
Yes, its natural form is invisible to the naked eye. Yes.
Okay, so I don't know if it'd do any good, but in 24 hours we could go to the Golden Room and get that set of eyeglasses we got from New Zoot.
is. True.
That has 3 eyes on it.
Mm-hmm. It
That
does.
would be a nice, something to keep in mind. Here's my thought, guys. Here's what I was thinking. When he calls the radio to talk to people, I try and cast a horrific illusion on him. If it works, he's basically on the radio going to freak out. We use this, plus everything that's already been told, to have Nocturne take control while we isolate him. Since none of us have the ability to deal with this thing, we isolate him until it's time to talk to Tyrath again.
And have him deal with it?
Okay, either A, we ask if we can make it a part of our boon, maybe Tyrath would think it's interesting. Whatever the case may be, I don't know any other way of dealing with this without just killing Killian and setting this thing free again.
But he also stated he did not want to be disturbed until
No.
all the bugs.
Exactly. Well, yeah. We'll have to go get the bugs and keep him subdued until then, somehow. Not saying it would be easy.
We'll basically have to keep him subdued for the next 10 days plus however long it's going to take to get the bugs.
Plus, yep. At least then, yeah. So again, I'm not saying it's easy, but I right now can't conceive another way of saving Killian's life.
Look, I like that idea. I really do. I can see that idea working. I can't really see the infiltration idea working. I just don't know what we would do with infiltrating that ship and then what? Just kill the guy? I don't know.
It's not always killing. Maybe observe him, make sure he behaves himself. Keep an eye on the fucker. Make a recording, exactly.
Yeah. That is something that we could do, but I like the idea of trying to show that he is insane. But if it doesn't work though, oh man.
If it doesn't work, we don't have many options other than to just subdue Killian and really convince them. We have to. At that point, our options are kill Killian and this thing does we don't know what, or subdue him and just find a way to convince everyone not to kill us. As far as I see it, those are pretty much our two options right now. Unless anyone thinks it's acceptable to actually just let this thing walk away and do what it wants.
Oh, I don't find that acceptable.
Right. I didn't think any of us did. That's why I didn't actually add that as well. But technically, it is an option.
Yeah, it technically is. You're right.
We're on the Martian dirt, right? We're not in like
Oh yes.
a place with air.
Nope.
Okay.
Um.
Then yeah, there's nothing I can do.
So I was thinking, actually, like before the sessions and whatnot, if everyone's okay with it, we can try the. Of course.
I was going to resolve the first action here because once again, Killian, did his thing. If anyone tries to stop me, he'd put them down or whatever he said. and walk away. So I want you guys to, at the very least. Oh yeah, Nora did mention the voice
That's
changer
true,
too.
but- oh, we don't have it
Um,
with us,
yeah, we
though.
do.
It's
Nope.
in the room.
in the golden place.
Yeah, it's in the golden
Yep.
place.
Oh, that would have been brilliant.
But I do want to resolve at least that little micro scene. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? We
Yeah.
could leave it here if you guys really, really want, but I think it's fair enough to resolve that.
No,
What I say what happens is we rewind it a bit. We notice he start to motion for his internal radio, and Squee does the horrific illusion.
yeah, I'd like to resolve that because that way we know where to go from there if that doesn't work or if it does work. So, I mean, we can that way we
Okay,
can
so I'll
spend a
tell
week
you what.
determining next step.
Okay, sure. I'll let that. I'll let that happen. So, I'll even go as far back as to say that Al will be able to cast a spell before he turns on the radio.
Okay.
That works for me. I will definitely give you guys the right of way. I won't finagle over time over that. I don't want to be that strict. So you want to cast Horrific Illusion, right?
Yes, please.
So that's horror factor of 16.
Hang on.
Yes.
Yes.
If I remember it,
It
is
would
horror factor
be
16.
it would be one extra because of my level. It's
Okay.
actually horror factor 14, but with my level it's 15.
So, 15.
Wait. Yeah. 15. Sorry.
Okie dokie. So, what is it image of? Do you have anything in mind, or do you want to just make it generic?
I have a question. This would be a question. So, at any time, something that Al would have seen in space that would normally be considered cute or cuddly or something like that.
No.
So
Bear?
no pets, no
Maybe?
animals, no.
No. Remember when you went on Outcast Station, you brought the dog, and no one had an idea what the fuck that dog was? There are no cute domestic animals, no bunnies in space, nothing
Right.
like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then
The cockroaches are kind of cute.
Okay,
That's
okay,
suggestive.
okay. I know. Al is going to give him a horrific illusion of several small children in nothing but like regular clothes, approaching him with raised knives, like surrounding him and closing, like slowly closing towards him, and they're bleeding from their eyes. Like he's going to make it horrific, but the idea is that they're little children with knives on the surface of Mars, closing in on him.
Okie dokie. I have to do another check. Factor rules. I have to look up its ME. Okay. Okay. So Killian's eyes go wide for a moment, and he starts screaming this uncharacteristic high-pitched scream. And he starts making a break away from you guys towards the minor innocents. And he's going to start screaming, and Patrick can hear it over the command radio. Help! Help! They're trying to kill me! Help!
Ah, fuck.
Patrick is going to like raise up his head and then like turn to Al. What did you do?
Screwed up.
He's yelling that they're trying to kill him.
I may have.
It's true.
tried to make Patrick, I need you to
I
get
got
on
good news. It worked perfectly.
Patrick, I need you to get on the radio with Nocturne and reassure her we are not doing anything to hurt him. He is mentally unsound and he is running towards the minor innocents right now, and we believe he is extreme danger.
Okay. No, and also, as long as everyone sees what Nora said, but I'll let you guys resolve it. That's what Al tells Patrick. And it's funny, actually. Well, I just want to say, it's not quite in the distance, but you just hear Killian, like, over the speakers um, of his body armor. He's screaming and howling like a madman. His arms are like waving in the air, like he's being chased by something awful, like children with knives. Who'd have thought, right? And he's running straight for the minor innocents. So if you're like, he is looking completely and utterly deranged. So be successful on that.
Yeah, not a horrible, because I was just thinking about that. Nocturne and the other soldiers would probably know that Killian is no stranger to dangerous situations, so I doubt he would flip out quite like that.
Yeah.
Nocturne, it looks like he is,
You have to try a few times because he's still screaming in the comm line as well. So you have to say this in between his panicked, like, gas, in his panic screams, which is actually really entertaining. It's like, Nocturne, you have to, they tried to kill me. Anyways, what do you want to communicate to
he's
Nocturne?
going towards the minor innocents. He thinks something is trying to kill him.
Okay. So she gets that through, and you quickly get a transmission from Alicia that says, turn to channel 472. Okay?
Okay.
And if you guys do so, you'll hear Nocturne's voice, and she says, "We got him. He is screaming like a madman. Just what I want you to do until we get this figured out, stay on the Rhapsody. Keep those engines cool. Okay? We're gonna figure this out."
Okay.
And I think maybe this is where we'll end it, if that works for you guys. With
Yeah.
Killian, with Killian screaming aboard the minor innocents like a madman, and Nocturne giving you orders to
Stay grounded.
stay on the ship, and then she cuts communications as she tries to figure out the whole Killian situation.
Yeah. So that worked. That's good. We have something to go on.
Woohoo!
There you go. Yay!
So
I'm recording it. Yeah, what's up?
24 hours, we need to make sure to get that voice modulator and the eye set. So eventually, we could show possibly Nocturne, if we can even see it on the glasses. Show Nocturne that he is possessed by something and he's not right, and then we'll see where it goes from there. That's what I think we should do. What do you guys think we should do?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it didn't exactly have quite the intended effect, but it was fairly successful. We need to just convince her to isolate him, and I think we also need to be very, very mindful of making it very clear she's in charge. We know she's in charge. We have no problems with her being in charge.
Mm-hmm.
And then, honestly, it's sad, but none of us have the ability to deal with this. I think that we then, once we're fairly sure he's contained, we then continue the mission and get to Tyrath ASAP. Because hope that Tyrath would just find this an amusing thing for him to toy with.
That this seems right up his goddamn alley, but I don't want to fuck with him. You know what I mean?
It's
Like-
funny because like this thing's so powerful, very powerful. Yeah, but we know Tyrath, so of the two, I'm just assuming Tyrath is more powerful.
Maybe. I'm not gonna freaking go all like DBZ nerd and be like, what's thy power level?
Mm-mm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we can keep on streaming and just shoot the shit a little bit, but that'll be it for this
God,
session.
that
We'll
was
wrap it up.
well. That was fun.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
we failed to have somebody not get possessed right off the bat. I think that was high five, everyone. Good job.
Well, with all due respect, Killing was being pretty indignant about it. He was going all Gollum. Okay, take care, Criana. Look forward to next
Criana.
week.
Okay,
Rest
bye,
Bye.
Criana. Feel better. Feel better. Hey, bye.
Keep boy. All right, let me just put up my break screen. Is that working? Yeah, there we go.
But well, I mean, it wasn't impossible. I never give you guys an impossible situation, right? But
Right.
Killing was totally going Gollum on that sucker. So
Yeah.
the more you push, the more anxious he got, right? So it's all good.
What? I hadn't noticed that.
No way. But see, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not gonna name names because I've seen it happen in a lot of campaigns, right? But I think it's more fun if you're gonna possess anything, possess an NPC. Then they can fuck with the PCs in like two ways.
Yeah.
Not only do you have to deal with the possession, but you have to deal with the asshole who's being possessed.
Yeah.
Of course, that'd be the guy that hates us the most out of everyone.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. I mean, why not?
Wait, he hates us?
It's
Why?
okay compared to the rest of the crew.
What did we do? Yeah.
So
Oh boy.
that was really entertaining. I enjoyed
agree.
that.
I enjoyed it a lot.
I enjoyed Squee fucking with the dude at the end. I'm gonna make him have a horrific illusion. Make him seem mad. And you're like,
I also liked how Nora pretty much coaxed this fucking guy. She pretty much was staring down an entity.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was great as well. Like that was the proactive thing that I would have loved to see more of. I also need to make
There's always next week. Don't you worry
Yeah.
about that.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure Nora has.
Yeah, I have no idea what's gonna happen next week.
You know, I mean, like, this is the really, really fun thing about next week, right? Like, I'm going to. What this is kind of is almost like a chess game, but we're not trying to beat each other. It's just you guys are going to do something, and I'm going to really have to think about what a bunch of different NPCs are going to be doing at this time, right? And the entire session is going to be give and take, you know? You're going to do something, I'm going to have to react, right? My guys do something, you're going to have to react, right? Until a solution is found. And that's really exciting. This is going to be like a fun, creative tug of war in a way. You know what I mean? Where you're battling a very malevolent mind, this entity, right?
Mhm.
And it's you. That's really much what it's against. It's you versus this fucking thing.
Yeah, it looks like
It's fun.
we pitched war with it too, instead of just kind of going like,
Yeah, like while
Did you
all
guys
of
like that he offered you a bribe?
yeah, it's just like just fly away. It's fine. Oh,
yeah, and immediately we can just turn around and go, we can just, try and get a few bugs, and get our own boon from Tyra.
see,
Yep, there was the option. There was the option.
see, here's the
But
thing.
like, just really quickly, midway through all of this, bullshitting and egging him on, I'm like, I kind of want to stop and come up with a plan, guys. Guys, seriously, guys,
Well,
guys, please.
well, things still happen. Now you have a whole week to plan if you want to talk about it. It's all give and take until someone invades Poland. That's what happened. Hitler was affected by a possessing entity. That actually would explain a lot.
And as the war went on, he got more and more possessed. His decisions made less and less sense.
You know? How fucked up is that? Anyway, but yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you guys. I'm glad I was right because I was super excited because I thought about this idea for a little while, right? This wasn't a long-term idea I had, but it was long enough. So when we got to this point, I was getting really, really excited about it all. So, um, yeah, I just love thinking about this game, guys. I love it so much.
Me too.
The zoo race?
Yeah.
Oh, the pig is from the old game. Yeah, yeah.
I'm glad somebody noticed.
Mm-hmm. 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 But yeah, yeah. But I mean, you guys are already brainstorming some really good ideas, right? I can't let you know what the efficacy is, but I think what I like about your group the most is that you get a challenge and you're not all just like, well, we're fucked. We can't do anything, right? Like you don't immediately give up. You acknowledge the
Well,
importance of the situation, right? But you're not just like, oh, this is stupid. I give up, right? And you just become
Indignant.
yeah, indignant. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, right?
Mhm.
So, you would. I have a feeling if I possessed Al, for example, or Tom, you guys would get indignant. That would be.
I
That
would
would
have
be no good.
kicked Al in the groin to knock him out.
you know, I would probably
The
kick him in
weird
the
thing
groin
is,
too.
I don't know. The weird thing is, if you had come up to me, like
Mhm.
if you use the GM and come to the player and said, "I'm thinking of doing this," and you kind of said, "Here's what what he would be like," and then give me the ability to play it that way, I wouldn't mind. But anything else, yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah,
And even that's
Yeah.
tricky because
it
you
needs
know,
consent. Yeah, I'm really pretty
And,
much giving you control of an NPC, a villain NPC, really, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
and to be
Awesome.
honest, I kind of did that just because I have nothing that I can contribute to this.
You kind of
Looking
did
at my
what?
character sheet.
Oh.
Kind of sort of gave up, or was saying that I was
Well,
giving up. I don't know what.
you shouldn't. Well, you shouldn't. Just stretch those creative muscles,
Yeah.
because I'll tell you right now, you're not powerless at all.
It's
First of all, you have a brain, so you can come up with ideas. Second of all, you actually do have an ability that can, at the very least, harm it. But I'm not going to tell you what. So, but I wanted to let you know that don't look at your character sheet as being useless. Go.
I've got resist fatigue.
Woo!
Yeah, totally.
You, never mind. I'm not going to say that. Stop looking at it. Oh, I am going to say it actually. Fuck it. Stop looking at this like a video game.
I don't know.
That's okay. That's okay.
Like,
I'm trying to be encouraging.
Isaac, Jack, and even Keen, I know exactly what to do in this situation. I've
Well,
got
think about
swimming on Mars.
Yep.
Like,
Yep. Yep.
I've got no
Well-
air. Huh.
When we have a chance, go over the recording again because there's something I said in its description that might be helpful to you. But that's all I'm gonna say. That's the only hint I'm giving you. But don't get discouraged, dude. I never give my players a no-win situation. I never do, and I never will. So don't worry. You can do this. You're smart. You got this, man. You guys but you guys will do even better if you work together. You guys work together, you will get your way through this, and hopefully everything will resolve the way as best it can. Right? Just like Green Castle. Remember how you guys thought, oh, here's an even better example. Remember when you shot a fucking trying person's arm and you were running from the law of New Laszlo, and you're like, oh my god, we're fucked. That kind of worked out in the end, didn't it?
I think that was the first time. The first time when we just said, "Guys, we're in over our heads. Let's just stop."
You know, this was fun. I think we should just dial it down a bit.
I think that's
Like-
still one of my favorite situations where things just kept escalating and you won by not doing it.
Yes.
I think my favorite part of all of that was just like, alright, I'm gonna check what's in this hard drive. It might take a while. Rolls perfectly. It might take a while.
But yeah,
And then, like,
Squee.
just sitting there, like, typing away and just hearing the fuck! Oh, shit! Right in my ear.
Right in the earball. I love how
Squee.
you're. Sorry, go ahead, Burr.
just really quickly, remember when you were thinking of a horrifying illusion? I said I can suggest something if you want.
Do you want to know what my suggestion was going to be?
Sure.
It's something that Piph alluded to. You remember that giant, we only caught like a small glimpse of it? That giant fire elemental that reached through the rift to get the other fire elementals back?
Yeah.
What if that just like erupted from the ground?
No. See, here's
And
the problem. Because I considered that exact thing, actually. Here's the problem. I needed him to rant and rave about something that seemed wholly unlikely. And we had already told them that a giant arm the size of a ship reaching out of a rift is something that could happen.
Well, we
Oh, yeah,
didn't
that's
talk
true.
about the Dubyuck.
But
Could've
that's
made
what.
a
That's,
True.
well, but I wanted something. No, I wanted something that was absurd, not something that was scary. I wanted
Yeah.
something that was scary to him, but to us, it'd be like children on Mars. Really?
With knives.
He needed to sound insane, not scary.
Yeah.
I have to. I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad that he failed that horror factor check just for the idea of like children, nice, chase me. They're trying to kill me.
Children with knives in body armor, mega damaged body.
You didn't say that. You
No,
didn't say
but
that.
no, I'm saying he's in mega damaged body armor, yet
Oh,
he's
yeah,
running
yeah,
from
yeah,
children with knives.
Oh yeah, okay, good point.
I'd run with that anyway if I had big... Like, if children just showed out of nowhere, wearing no freaking, like, outside stuff and wearing normal, like, clothes and just has, like, a knife in their hand, like, stepping towards me on Mars, I'd run in mega damage armor. Fuck that.
Yeah, I would too.
Oh my god. But just to go back to the time person thing, God, here you are in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of night. You have a mayor of a small community bleeding, like passed out without an arm. You burn down her house, and you believe that the second command of the security of New Laszlo is in on a slaver ring, and you're running
Yeah.
from them. And you're just like, okay, we can figure a way out of this. And you guys are just like,
I don't think we can.
I think we've gotten a little bit over our heads. We should dial it back a bit. Just,
God,
you know,
Can you imagine starting a campaign like that, and that's your situation? It's a fuck you situation. So you all meet up. There's an armless woman. You burnt down her house. I love that you burnt down her
You
house.
blew off her arm.
Alicia
Well,
blew
I
off her
mean,
arm, but still.
we had to make it look plausible. Like she was fucking attacked by a mercenary gang or something. So I mean,
Oh, there's a lot of. I love that we've played this game long enough that we can have like memories now of this game. That's great. That's important. No, but if you think about it, but if you think about it, a lot of campaigns don't get that far. You know, you don't get to recollect. Oh, you guys have been doing some crazy shit.
Well, you don't get to recollect while we're still in the campaign. You can, like, 5 years later, remember that campaign we did?
Good, true, I guess. Remember, I guess, not really recollect. Because you're right, an event has to be over with to recollect, right? Like you're not in the middle of like World War II and just remembering about World War II. You're still in WW2, yo. But yeah, I'm glad you guys are having as much fun as I am.
Indeed. All right, gents, I think I am going to call it.
wait.
What?
I need to talk to you for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I need something from you.
Burn, I'm sorry. I have a girl.
I'm talking about the Naruto League playoffs.
I mean, I'm sorry, but
Because
I.
I need Naruto League playoffs.
I would
because-
like that
What do you
sweet
mean? I
ass.
sent them to Oren a long time ago.
Can
Yeah,
have that?
I can't find them.
No.
I don't know if I still have them. I sent them a long time ago. I don't think I
Oh
still have them.
boy, should I stop streaming?
There are YouTube. Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Bye,
Okay.
everyone.
Bye. Bye.